big and all sorts of things. Let's see what we got here.
Sure, I know how to say everybody's names. Deanna, is it Deanna or is it Dina?
Deanna.
Deanna. That's what I thought.
Okay,
just want to double check.
I respond to everything at school.
Dana Gould's girlfriend. I've messed up her name every single time I've gone to her
Okay,
last
now
name.
I hear you.
Oh, no.
I'm glad that was a live part, Frank. Can you hear us, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, you're here. You're here just in time. Welcome everybody to Scripts Gone Wild, where grown-ass adults degrade themselves for your entertainment and charitable causes. My name is Billy Ray Bruton. I am your normal host, but not tonight. Tonight we are doing a very special reading. It's part of our month-long Halloween celebration of kick-ass horror films, and the script that we are massacring tonight is The Return of the Living Dead, a personal favorite of mine, and we are raising money for an incredible organization. It is the California Wildfire Relief Fund. This is an organization that helps out with wildfires all across the state of California. And as you know, we happen to have quite a few. And so they help folks with everything from rebuilding homes and helping them, when they've lost everything, to even preventative measures to try and, help firefighters and help with, to stop these, this onslaught of fires. I'm already
Take
drunk.
a drink.
Sorry, guys. I'm already drunk as shit. Sorry.
The onslaught of firefighters.
The
scourge of America.
The California Wildfire Relief
Goddamn
Fund
firefighters.
All
exists for
firefighters are
eradicating-
bastards.
They're all, damn it. And if you would like to make a donation to help eradicate the if you would like to make a donation to the California Wildfire Relief Fund, go to our website at any time during this read. That's scriptsgonewild.com. You can click on the donate tab. It's going to take you directly to their website, the CalFund website, where you can make a tax-deductible donation. You can donate $1, $5, $10, $1,000. The world's your oyster. If by oyster I'm giving money to an organization. But we're super happy that you're here on your Wednesday night. And I'm going to be back later because I'm going to be reading a role. And if you want me to read it as Paul Lynn, please comment in the chat section. And for now, let's turn it over to the host for the evening, Mr. Frank Dietz.
Hey, hi guys. Thanks. I'm so happy to be here, as I always am. Happy to be at my age. I'm happy to be anywhere. Right? I'm really thrilled that Billy Ray asked me to host this particular reading because I absolutely love this movie. I am friends with almost everyone who was in the original, and we've lost a few over the years. Sadly, James Karen, and Don Calfa are no longer with us, and they were dear friends also. But I've moderated so many panels at conventions and so forth for this movie. My joke always used to be I've done it so often that I feel like I was actually in the movie, and tonight I sort of am. So it works out nicely. All right, so I'm going to introduce everybody, and then are you going to say the words?
Yeah, I'll go over the rules once you
Okay.
do the intros. Yeah,
Great. All right. So tonight we have with us. I'm going to start from the bottom and work up. Your results may vary. We have Mark Pitta. Yeah. We have Izzy Lee, Jack Bennett, Dave Schilling,
Hi.
William Stout, Deanna Rooney, Andrew Kasch, Jonah Ray, Clay Keller, Kasey Lansdale, Jill Savel, and Ray Abruzzo. Whee!
welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. So for the folks at home who have no idea what in the hell we're doing or why we're doing it, this is a drinking game. If any of these lovely readers fuck up a line, miss a cue, do anything in the world that we can construe as a mistake, we're going to shout drink at them, and then they're going to have to take a drink as their personal shame. We also choose social words. These are words that anytime they're spoken by the readers, by the folks reading, it doesn't count if Frank reads it with the stage direction, only when the reader's speaking in the dialogue. Anytime those words are spoken, everybody takes a drink. And those words tonight are dead and help. So gird your livers, everybody. We also have something that we call a finish your drink line that's chosen by our Patreon subscribers. This is a line whenever we get to it in the script. Everybody finishes whatever drink is in their hands, whether it's a fresh pour or just a couple of sips. And that line tonight is send more paramedics. And again, throughout the read, if you would like to make a donation to the California Wildlife Relief Fund, or Wildfire Relief Fund, not Wildlife Relief Fund.
I'll say this: paramedics worse than the firefighters, if you ask me.
I mean,
Billy Ray just wants to kill all the beautiful creatures on this planet, from
I'm coming across
firefighters to
real
squirrels.
bad.
Is it all the drinking, Billy Ray?
It's the drinking that's getting to me. But please make a donation. If you stumble across this read in a week and a half on YouTube, you can still make a donation. There's always going to be wildfires. There's always going to be firefighters and paramedics to relieve. So donate your money. And if you have any idea what charity we're raising money for, you're doing better than I am. Frank, back to you.
All righty. Well, I think we shall not waste any more time and get right into it.
Yeah.
The Return of the Living Dead, story and screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, based on a story and screenplay by John Russo, Rudy Ricci, and Russell Streiner, which are, of course, the guys that wrote the original Night of the Living Dead. A white title over black. The events portrayed in this film are all true. Affidavits by the... fucked up already.
Drake!
That's not dialogue, though. That doesn't count.
Wow. Affidavits by the participants are on file with the agencies of the United States government. The names are real. Names of real people and real organizations. Fade in. Industrial district, afternoon. Red sunlight streaks across a warehouse with a large sign on it. You need a medical supply. You need it, we got it. None larger. July 3rd, 1983, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Just in case you didn't believe me. A rumble of thunder. Interior medical warehouse. Afternoon. A big barn of a place with rows and rows of shelving and junk stacked around. Not very new, not very tidy. The employees are leaving. The boss, Bert Penrod, is closing up for the weekend. He calls out to his last two men.
Hey, Frank, it's quitting time. Go home.
I'm going to stick around for a while. Got some orders to fill. The kid's going to stay here with me and learn some of the ropes.
All right, but lock up when you go, will you? And don't forget, it's the 4th of July weekend coming up.
Right. Have a nice 4th. Hey, see you Sunday for the barbecue, Bert.
Looking forward to it. You too, kid.
The boss goes out, leaving Frank, a 45-year-old factory foreman, alone with Freddie, a newly hired shipping clerk, who wears a red baseball cap and a little ring in his ear.
Okay, Fred, we got an order here from St. Louis University Medical School for 2 skeletons.
Frank, holding the order form in his hand, walks the kid over to where they keep the skeletons wrapped in plastic, hanging from a pole like suits.
They want 2 adult females with perfect teeth. That's an AF1. So we go to the A section here, which is divided into M's and F's, and then we find the I's, or the ones. Which are the ones with the perfect teeth.
Frank lifts the skeleton off the pole and carries it over to a coffin-sized wooden packing crate.
Put some Excelsior in there, would you?
Freddie quickly stuffs the Excelsior into the box.
Now, pour a bunch of that styrofoam popcorn in there.
Freddie pours and spreads it around. Frank lays the beautiful, perfect skeleton in the crate.
Where did they get all these skeletons?
From India. It's an international treaty. All skeletons come from India.
Is that right? How come?
I don't know. But sometimes I wonder how they get all these skeletons with perfect teeth. I mean, how many people die with perfect teeth? I think they must have a skeleton farm somewhere over in India.
Frank turns away from the skeleton section and starts walking through the warehouse, showing the kid where things are.
Prosthetic limbs are here, the wheelchairs are here, and the split dogs are over there. The split dogs are for veterinary schools. Man, we get a lot of orders for split dogs.
Freddie is looking around in morbid fascination. He gazes at the embalmed half dog, split down the middle so you can see its organs and cross-section, mounted on a stand.
There's
Right.
the gurneys and the surgical equipment, and that's where we keep the oxygen. Watch out for that oxygen. It's explosive. Don't smoke around it.
Frank walks Freddie over to a big freezer door.
This is where we keep the fresh cadavers. We sell these to medical schools and to U.S. Army for ballistic tests.
Frank opens the freezer door and walks in, followed by Freddie. There is only one body in the locker, hanging vertically like a suit of the cleaners wrapped in plastic.
We're low on inventory. Got a shipment coming in Monday.
How many bodies are in there usually?
Well, we try not to overstock. It's like the restaurant business. You don't want your inventory to lose its freshness. Come on back and help me nail the lid on that skeleton. I'll show you how to fill out the shipping forms.
They walk out of the locker. Frank closes the locker door. It clicks back open. It has a big combination padlock, but it's just hanging in the open hasp.
You got to close this door good. It pops open.
He slams the door hard and they walk away. After they are gone, the door pops back open. Frank and Freddie walking back toward the office.
Hey, Frank, how late are we going to work? Reason I ask is got a date at 8 o'clock.
No, we're not going to work that late. We'll go for another hour or so and then knock off. Who you got a date with?
My girlfriend.
What you going to do?
We're going to go dancing.
Ah, youth.
Exterior city street afternoon. A group of 6 punk rockers are walking along the sidewalk in a sleazy rundown section of the city. They are Tina, Meat, Chuck, Kasey, Dee Dee, also known as Trash in the movie, by the way, and Scuzz. Tina is a slender, attractive girl in a red plastic miniskirt. Scuzz wears a mohawk haircut. Chuck is relatively normal looking. Meat is a tall black lad with a reggae haircut. Kasey and Dee Dee are weird, but extremely sexy girls. Dee Dee wears leather pants with lots of buttons on them.
Hey, are we going to party tonight or what?
Fuck. Yeah, we're going to party.
Well, where? Where are we going to party?
I don't know. Somewhere.
We could go to the park.
Cub said they shoot us if we go back in the park.
We could do that. That would be a death trip.
Life, death.
I like death with sex. How about you, Kasey? Do you like sex with death?
Fuck off and die, Chuck.
Will you have sex with me?
Choke a chicken.
Go to the rat club.
Nah, they closed it down. You got to be 21 now to get into head cheese.
So how about it, Tina? Where can we party tonight?
Hey, you guys, that would be really rad, but I'm supposed to go meet Freddie when he gets off work.
Yeah? Where are you supposed to meet him?
At his medical supply warehouse where he's working.
A job? Fuckhead.
Well, shit. Why didn't you say so? Why don't we all go pick Freddie up? Freddie always knows where there's a party.
Hey, you guys, that would really be rad, but Freddie's gonna be pretty tired.
Also, we ain't got no car.
How are you getting there?
On the bus.
Shit, I ain't taking no freaking bus.
Suicide has a car.
God, not him.
Why not? He's got a car.
Hey, you guys, this is just me and Freddie.
Right, let's all go get Suicide and make him drive us over to where Freddie's working.
Back at the warehouse, Frank and Freddie are sitting at a desk, poring over stacks of shipping orders. Outside, there is a rumble of thunder.
Looks like rain.
Frank,
What?
what's the weirdest thing you ever saw in here?
Frank puts down his papers, looks out the window, thinks.
Well, kid, I've seen weird things come. I've seen weird things go, but I've seen just one weird thing that just has to cap them all.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Let me ask you a question. You ever see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
Drink.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The one about the corpses eating people? Sure. That was one of the finest movies ever made. What about it?
Did you know it was based on a true case?
Nah. Go on, you're shitting me.
I've never been more serious in my life.
That's not possible. They showed the zombies taking over the whole world. I would have heard about them.
Well, they changed the details for the movie, but what happened was that back about 1969, there was a chemical spill at the VA hospital in Pittsburgh. The stuff leaked into the morgue and made the dead bodies jump around and act like they was all
Dead.
What chemical?
What chemical? It's called 2,4,5-trioxin. And they were going to use it on marijuana or something. It was something Darrow Chemical was developing for the Army. They shut it down after the business with the corpses. And they told the guy that made the movie that if he told the true facts, they'd sue his ass off. So he changed it all around.
So what really happened?
Well, they shut it all down, and the Army took away the contaminated dirt and bodies. And they managed to keep it all a secret.
So how come you know about it?
Well, the Army Transport Department got their orders crossed, and they brought the bodies here instead of to Darrow Chemical. Typical Army fuck-up. They put them here and forgot about them.
Ring, 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 ring.
Phone rings. Freddie jumps. Frank picks it up.
Hello. Oh, hi, honey. We're going to be working here about, another hour. Keep the pot roast hot for me. Love you too. Kiss.
He hangs up.
Do you want to see them?
See him?
The corpses.
What do you mean?
They're down in the basement. Come on.
Frank rises and heads to the basement door. Startled, Freddie gets up quickly and follows him. In the basement, Frank and Freddie start down the basement steps.
Hey, watch that third step down. It's a bastard.
Avoiding the third step, they come down the stairs. The basement is darkened. Frank turns on the lights, a couple of bare bulbs, throwing dim yellow light and black shadows all around.
You mean they just brought those bodies here and left them?
No, the Army.
And they've been here all this time?
About 14 years, if I recall.
Frank turns on another light.
There they are.
Over in the corner are half a dozen big metal drums, cylinders turned on their sides. Stenciled on them in faded old print is the legend. Property, Department of the Army. In case of emergency, call 1-800-454-800. They are covered with dust.
There's bodies in there?
By way of answer, Frank walks over to the nearest tank and lifts up a lid on it. Beneath the lid is a sort of porthole covered with an 1/8 of an inch of greasy dirt. He gets a bottle of Windex and some paper towels and wipes it off, exposing the glass. Then he picks up a flashlight and shines it down inside. Freddie leans over and peers in. Inside is a blackened, mummy-like corpse.
Oh, shit. Look at that. You say that was alive?
So they say.
Freddie eyes some rust stains running down the sides of the tank.
These things don't leak, do they?
Leak? Hell no. These things were made by the Army Corps of Engineers.
To prove his point, Frank slaps the side of the tank with the palm of his hand. With a loud crack, a welded seam on the tank splits open and a cloud of yellowish vapor squirts out under pressure, hitting Frank and Freddie right in the face. They stagger back, coughing and choking.
Oh, man.
Very nice. Both of them fall to the floor, clutching their throats. In a moment, they are unconscious. Camera cranes up over the top of the tank, looking down through the little window. Inside, the corpse is beginning to dissolve, boil away to a black, nasty liquid right in front of our eyes as the oxygen hits it. The gas in the tank has lost some of its pressure and is no longer squirting out like a hose. Instead, it is fuming up out of the crack in the middle, rising up and rolling along the ceiling toward the basement stairwell. The smoky gas rises up the basement steps and passes out into the warehouse. Afternoon. The gas rises out. That's on me. The gas rises up out of the open basement door and travels across the floor of the warehouse, rising to saturate everything. Some of the gas rolls along the floor and enters the open door of the cold locker, when we know what's in there. A noxious, toxic gas crawls in around the edge of the door and curls up over the plastic-wrapped cadaver. I'm not drinking on that one. Hanging like a suit in the laundry. The cadaver starts to twitch. Main title sequence, new wave music, The Return of the Living Dead.
It seems like an appropriate time to mention that the Twitter or the YouTube chat room has voted that Jonah needs to take a drink.
Ah.
For why?
Surprise!
Because they're brutal, guys. They're brutal. Sorry,
Because he's smiling and having too much fun through this whole thing.
That's what I've been trying to tell Deanna, that the internet has been making me drink for years.
I never believed him.
Now you have proof.
Don't read the comments, everybody.
Yeah, really. Exterior, cliff by the sea, afternoon. Camera starts in on the sea, the cradle of life. Gray today, gray and slimy as the cold surf washes seaweed and jellyfish onto the gray sand. Guess you couldn't afford that scene in the movie, right, Bill?
No.
A tiny crab scuttles across the rock. Camera pulls back to reveal the cliff rising from the ocean. Camera cranes up the face of the cliff, up the side of the rock until we reach the top. On the top of the cliff, overlooking the vast ocean, is a house. It is a private home, expensive looking, with huge satellite dish antenna on the roof. Title, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. As we watch, a car, an expensive looking sedan, comes up the driveway. The electric garage door opens and the car pulls in. The driver of the car, middle-aged man in uniform, an army colonel, comes into the house and greets his wife with a kiss on the cheek.
Hello, dear. How was your day?
Usual shit.
I'm sorry.
What's for dinner?
Your favorite, lamb chops.
I had it for lunch.
Throwing his coat on a chair, the colonel walks out of the living room, and as he passes from room to room, we can see through the windows the cliff and the sea. Finally, he arrives at his study. He crosses the padded floor to the liquor cabinet and opens it. Inside is an impressive array of electronic communications equipment. He slides a card key into the console, checks his watch, picks up a special telephone, and presses a button.
Yes, it's me. Checking in from station 3 at 1800. Make that 18:01 hours. I'll be home all evening. Right.
He hangs up and pours himself a drink, and after loosening his tie, downs it. Then he wanders into the living room, drink in hand. He stands looking out at the ocean and sipping his drink. In the dining room, his wife is serving dinner.
It's nerve-wracking to live around all that equipment all the time.
You have to be able to reach me 24 hours a day wherever I am. You know that.
All that microwave stuff affects my oven.
When we find them, we can take all the equipment out.
But when will they find them?
Christ, Ethel, I don't know. Maybe they'll never find them. Maybe we've been through all this before. They could be anywhere. Anywhere.
Interior convertible moving late afternoon. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The punks are riding along, drinking cheap wine and listening to hard punk rock music on a portable tape deck. One of those big, loud things like a suitcase. Suicide is driving. Tina, Meat, Kasey, Dee Dee, Chuck, and Scuzz are piled into the car with him. Suicide is a skinhead. His skull has been completely shaved and then allowed to grow out for about a week until it's covered with a uniform growth of stubble about 1/8 inch long. He looks like a coconut.
Where are we going anyway?
To party.
To pick up Freddie.
Oh, yeah? What the fuck is Freddie up to these days anyway?
He got himself a job.
No shit. What job?
He's a stockroom clerk.
Yeah, that sounds like a shitty job.
Well, it ain't the president of the United States, but he makes enough money to buy dope with.
Yeah? Maybe he'll buy some from me.
He don't like PCP suicide.
How come you guys only come over when you need me to drive you someplace?
'Cause you're too spooky, suicide.
Yeah? You think I'm spooky, do you?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck do you think you are?
Just try to get us there alive, okay?
Are you criticizing my driving?
Maybe.
You call this driving?
You want to see driving? I'll show you driving.
Hey, take it easy, man.
You see that chicken?
A large chicken is walking by the side of the road. Suicide twists the wheel and aims the car toward the chicken. Everybody starts screaming. The chicken takes off running up onto the sidewalk. Suicide follows it and goes crashing onto the sidewalk, hurling everybody around in the car. Bill, did they ever film this?
It's not in my script.
Oh. Oh, yeah. You're not using the script that I sent you? I don't know.
It's interesting, all the changes.
Yeah, there's quite a few. We'll roll with it. No problem. The chicken runs crazily across the Canadian divider. Suicide goes crashing across the divider into another lane. The chicken runs across the street. Suicide chases it across the street. The chicken flies over a fence in a flurry of feathers. It escaped. Suicide hits the brakes and screeches to a stop. The car sitting on the curb. Suicide guns the car and they take off again.
Now we'll go pick up Freddy.
Suicide, you are not only a fool, you are a fucking asshole.
Exterior, medical supply house. The Unida medical supply building with big oil storage tanks beyond. That's delicious, cheap wine. Suicide pulls to the curb.
What a hideous, ugly place.
Like it. It's a statement.
Suicide opens the door and starts to get out.
Well, let's go get the prick.
No, I better not bring you guys inside. It might freak out his boss.
That's not nice.
Yeah. What does he think we are? Weird or something?
Oh.
Chuck?
Chuck? Someone's drinking.
Damn it, Chuck!
What time does Freddy get off?
8 o'clock. Drink, Chuck.
Yeah. Chuck looks around. Across the street from the medical supply warehouse is an old cemetery, luckily, surrounded by a high stone wall. The sign above the arched gate says Resurrection Cemetery. Chuck points at the sign.
We could wait for him in there.
Isn't that sacrilegious?
Not if we're respectful.
We can see him come out when he gets off work.
All right, let's check this place out.
They get out of the car and head toward the cemetery. Suicide gets a wooden box from under the seat.
What's that?
Road flares.
What are you going to do with those?
This is really rad.
I like graveyards.
They enter through the stone arch. They walk around and take a look at the place. This cemetery has been around long enough to get overcrowded so that gravestone piles upon gravestone. Monument on monument. There are numerous crypts and tombs, little stone houses. It is an necropolis, a city of the dead.
Place is a mess.
Meat turns on the portable tape deck real loud, playing new wave rock and roll. It echoes out over the cemetery, bouncing from the gravestones. Dee Dee starts laughing and running around the headstones. Cut to medical supply house. Frank and Freddy are still lying on the floor. Freddy stirs and groans.
Frank?
Freddy picks himself up off the cold concrete, staggers over to the corner, and throws up. Frank wakes up, groans. Frank gets up and vomits too.
Kid, are you okay?
I don't know. I feel sick. Christ, what a stink.
They go over to the tank and look in. The glass that had sealed the corpse in is broken, smashed away. In the bottom of the tank is nothing except some black liquid.
What happened to the body?
It must have just melted away when the air hit it.
Close the goddamn thing.
They lower the lid down, closing the tank with a loud clank.
What time is it?
What time is it? It's time to
Time for a drink.
time for a drink.
Are the scripts diverging?
Yes.
I'm working from the original shooting script.
Oh wow!
Hence major dropouts here. Okay. Anyway, I think we should go upstairs. I don't guess we ought to tell Bert about this. It'll make us look like we're stupid or something.
Ooh, okay, hold on.
A little bit down.
A little bit down.
Roll with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're upstairs now.
Yes.
Go upstairs. God, I can still smell that stuff. Must be in my nose. Either that or it's all over everything.
Maybe I better spray some deodorant around here.
Frank goes and roots in the stores of medical supplies and comes out with a giant can of Lysol. He starts to walk around spraying it everywhere. Suddenly, from out of the darkness comes a loud yipe, followed by a crash. Frank spins around and Freddy jumps to his feet.
You know what that sounded like? Sounded like a dog.
There we go. They advance toward the direction of the sound. Frank turns on the overhead lights, illuminating the place.
Oh, then now it's me. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Stop. Listen.
They get very quiet. A faint panting can be heard. Stealthily, Freddy and Frank advance through the aisles of packed equipment. As they turn a corner, they see a dog lying on its side on the floor, breathing heavily.
How did it get in here?
What's wrong with it?
They go to the dog and crouch by it. Something looks funny about it. Freddy starts to turn it over. It is a split dog, a veterinary specimen, half a dog on a stick, but it has come back to life. Freddy and Frank yell and drop the monstrous dog.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It shrieks with its one lung and twists around on the mounting stick. It is in pain.
Oh, what are we going to do?
We got to kill it.
Frank looks around for a killing device. He grabs a heavy implement and begins beating at the dog. Just shriek louder and walks around. I can't stand it. Stop! Suddenly, there is a shatteringly.
Yeah.
Right? Shatteringly loud crash from another part of the warehouse, followed by a howl of agony. Frank and Freddy spin around, leaving the dog writhing on the floor. The howling and screaming continue, accompanied by wall-shaking bangs. They run toward the direction of the noise. It is coming from the cold locker.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Are we fucked? What's happening?
The cadaver. The cadaver.
Oh, fuck. What's it doing in there?
I don't know, but it sounds mad.
What are we going to do?
Lock the door.
Frank dashes to the locker door and snaps the big padlock on the hasp. Then he backs away.
We got to think. Think.
He grabs Freddy and drags him away from the locker into the office. He closes the door. The screaming and pounding drop a couple of decibels. Frank and Freddy look dazed. Outside, there is another rumble of thunder and a flicker of lightning.
Are we going crazy?
No, it's that shit from the tank. The goddamn chemical got all over everything.
Bring everything back to you, stupid shit.
Shut up.
Wait, okay, where should we dump to here?
To
my next line? There's like 3 lines.
Yes.
That feed into each other.
We got to call the police.
Yeah.
Ready.
We got to call the police.
No police. Do you know what that would do to the company and to my reputation?
Then what about that telephone number on the side of the tank where it said to call in case of emergency?
If we called that, we get the army. Do you want the army all over this place?
Well, then what are we going to do?
I'll call the boss.
Frank picks up the phone and dials. It rings once.
Bert? Frank, we've got a little problem.
Cemetery. Loud rock music in the dark. Dee Dee and me sitting by a gravestone.
Do you ever fantasize about being killed?
No.
Did you ever wonder about all the different ways of dying? Violently, and wonder, like, what would be the most horrible way to die?
The worst way to die would be to burn to death. They say it hurts like a son of a bitch.
I just want to say that Dave has made a great decision to read Meat as Michael Clark Duncan from The Green Mile.
Thank you.
For me, the worst way would be for a whole bunch of horrible men to get around me and start eating me alive.
I see what you mean.
First, they would tear my clothes off.
She rips her blouse in two and throws it to the wind.
Hey, let's get some light over here. Dee Dee's taking her clothes off.
God. Scuzz lights a highway flare and carries it over to them. The sputtering orange light illuminates her gleaming torso in the darkness.
Are you high on anything?
Antihistamine.
Edie climbs up onto the nearest tomb and begins to dance, stripping off the rest of her clothes. Back at the warehouse, Bert is standing listening to Frank and Freddie.
You did what? You opened it? You stupid morons, you idiots.
In the background, the screaming of the corpse continues.
Oh!
Frank and Freddie both look sick, pale and waxy.
What are we gonna do?
Do? We're going to be sued by Darrow Chemical. We're going to be investigated by the government. And we're going to become very, very famous and lose our business and all go to jail. That's what we're going to do.
Bert paces around the room, flinching with every scream from the corpse.
On the other hand, if we do not wish for those things to happen, we will destroy all the evidence and then shut our mouths.
Yeah, that's it. Let's do that.
Yes, I agree. It's the only way. But before you do, I just have one question. Are you absolutely certain that the person screaming in there is a dead cadaver?
Drink.
Hey.
Hooray. But it wasn't a mistake. Make everybody know that was the correct.
It was the word dead.
Open the door and find out.
Yeah. All right. What if it's a reanimated body? We'll have to kill it.
How do you kill something that's already dead?
Drink.
Shut up. I'm thinking. Shut up. I'm thinking.
Fuck.
It's not a bad question, Bert line that
okay.
Stuck
in that movie.
Fuck is this going?
In that movie, they killed them.
What the fuck?
By destroying the brain.
Brain. Right.
Bert looks around. They start rummaging among the medical supplies.
What do doctors use to crack skulls?
Surgical drills.
Freddie shudders. Bert finds a big red fire axe, the kind with the pointed spike behind the blade.
Frank, you take this.
Frank takes the axe apprehensively, eyes the spike.
Now listen carefully. Freddie, you're going to open the door. Frank, when it comes out, you brain it with the axe.
Oh, Jesus.
You got to put it out of its misery.
They all advance toward the freezer. The screaming and pounding still come from it.
I can't see this.
Kid, go over by the door.
Freddie stations himself by the locker door. Frank hefts the axe.
I don't know if I can do this, Bert.
Well, you better. You got us into this.
Sweat popping out all over Frank's face.
The combination on the padlock is 34 left.
What the fuck is going on?
Who is that?
Who said that?
Mark.
Is that Mark? Mark, we hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My screen went black. I apologize.
All of those fucks, if you want to know, guys, is not in the script. They're courtesy of Mr. Mark Pitta.
Back to one. Freddie gets a grip on himself and spins the combination dial on the padlock. Clickety, clickety, left, right, left. Then, with great caution, he slides the padlock open. Crash! The freezer door bursts open, and a plastic-wrapped figure runs out, screaming. It runs right past Frank, who stands frozen with the axe raised, and straight towards Bert. It jumps on Bert, knocking him down and clawing at him. Frank and Freddie rush forward and peel it off him.
It bit me, this son of a bitch.
A struggle ensues. Frank and Freddie finally have the cadaver subdued with both of its arms twisted up behind its back, but it is snarling and snapping at them. It is just hideous looking with yellow jaundiced skin and dry eyeballs.
Hold its shoulders to the floor.
Frank and Freddie pin the thing's shoulders down. Bert takes careful aim and swings the axe. Pow! Crunch! The pick end of the axe goes right through the cadaver's skull, nailing it to the floor. It lets out a tremendous howl and begins to struggle. No blood flows, just formaldehyde. Frank and Freddie hang on. The axe is stuck right between the axe is back in. The axe is stuck right into the floor through its head, and it squirms like a butterfly on a pin, screaming. Bert runs over to the medical supplies and comes back with a bone saw. Looks like a hacksaw.
Hang on tight.
Bert gets down on his knees next to him and starts sawing off the struggling thing's head while they hold its arms. As the body separates from the head, two things happen. The screaming stops, one, and two, the body jumps up, knocking Frank and Freddie loose and runs off, leaving the head pinned to the floor by the axe. The body takes off running. croaking like a headless chicken in a barnyard. It immediately smashes into something and falls down, but it gets back up and starts running again blindly. The three men take off after it and tackle it. They all jump on it, holding it down. Rope, get rope. Freddy runs off and comes back with one. Quickly, they tie up the struggling body.
Christ, it's not dying.
I thought you said if we destroyed the brain, it dies.
It worked in the movie.
It ain't working now.
You mean the movie lied?
They look at the head, still nailed to the floor by the axe. It snaps and snarls silently.
So how do we kill it?
Maybe you can't kill it.
They stare at each other, considering the implications.
We have to destroy it completely until there's nothing left.
Acid.
What kind of acid do you dissolve a body with?
Sulfuric acid should do it. Better yet, aqua regia.
Bert raised, what if it doesn't dissolve everything? That's what Frank says. Bill, you might want to open my email and get the script. Where you
Got that as a Freddy line. Okay, what if it doesn't dissolve everything, like the bones?
Bert paces around the room, runs his fingers through his hair.
Sometimes Ernie Clattenburner works late on Friday nights.
Bert goes over to the window, pulls open the blinds, and looks out.
Who's Ernie Clattenburner?
He's the embalmer at the mortuary across the street.
Across the street, a light burns in one window in the back of the Resurrection Funeral Home. A car is parked near the back door.
There's his car. He's in.
What the hell is he going to do for us?
He's got a crematorium over there.
A crematorium. That's good. That's good. But do you think he'll go along with it?
I've known Ernie for 25 years. I think he'll do it out of friendship.
But what the fuck are you going to tell him? Can you trust him?
I'll have to.
How are we going to transport this thing over there?
Bert studies the struggling corpse and head.
Get the bone saw.
Back at the cemetery, the punks are running around whooping, carrying the road flares. A portable ghetto blaster stereo tape deck FM radio is blaring their accompaniment.
I don't know that Ghetto Blaster is PC in 2020.
I know.
I'll just tell you right now, it's
I
not.
don't think that's necessarily.
But it's fine. This is a period piece, guys. Let's move on.
Right.
No one's offended.
Nice, Jonah.
Hey, yeah, thank you. Don't want to get kicked off of the YouTube
Good old
stream.
Linnea. Radio. I don't know if I assigned this to anyone, so I'll do it. This is WAR/and-Gash Radio. Music for the immoral minority. Don't spin that dial, because we're bringing you Stomp on My Face by the Nerds. Punk music thunders. 7:33 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Kasey looks over at the mortuary that adjoins the cemetery and spots a couple of figures carrying something.
Hey, is that Freddy?
Where?
Over there, going into that building.
Guz looks. The figures vanish behind the mortuary. There is a light in the window in the mortuary.
No, that's not Freddy.
How do you?
Because Freddy wouldn't be going into a mortuary.
Interior mortuary embalming room night. Ernst Kaltenbrunner is working away on the body of a loved one. Lying on the table in front of him is the body of a middle-aged man with a distinguished head of gray hair. He has a big, long incision running down his belly, which Ernie is just finishing stitching up. On a table next to him is a stainless steel pan containing all the corpse's internal organs. Nice. Tubes lead into and from the arms, draining out the blood and putting in embalming fluid. Ernie wears a jogging suit and smokes a pipe. He appears to be completely absorbed in his work. He is wearing a pair of earphones, which go down to a Sony Walkman in his pocket. There is a knocking on the door. Ernst fails to hear it because of his Walkman. The knock is louder. Still, Ernie does not hear. The door opens behind Ernie, and Bert sticks his head in.
Ernie.
Ernie hears nothing. Bert comes into the room, walks up behind Ernie, and taps him on the shoulder. Ernie starts and spins around, pulling out a Luger. Bert jumps back.
Whoa, take it easy.
Ernie lowers the gun and pulls off his headphones.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What, working late tonight?
Yeah, pretty much.
What time is it? You want some coffee?
Not really.
Well, I'm going to have some.
He goes over to the Mr. Coffee machine and pours himself a steaming cup. He carries it back over to the corpse and goes back to work. He takes the corpse's arm and starts bending it. It appears to be stiff.
What are you doing?
Breaking out the rigor mortis.
Oh, yeah?
Rigor mortis starts in the brain, then it moves to the internal organs, then finally settles in the muscles. See? It wears off after a while, but you can break it out manually by flexing the muscles.
He continues breaking out the rigor mortis from the corpse while sipping his coffee. Bert clears his throat.
Hey, Ernie, how long have we been friends?
25 years, give or take.
So if I ask you to keep a very important secret, could you?
Sure, what is it?
Well, Ernie, I need your help in a big way.
No, you can depend on me.
Yep, drink.
Help.
Help.
Yeah, help. Have we had a help yet? Is this the first?
I think that's the first one.
Oh.
First of many, baby.
You can depend on me. What's wrong?
I got a couple of my men outside. You mind if I bring them in?
What's it about?
Hey, Frank, Fred, bring it in.
Frank and Freddie come in carrying a stretcher with a tarpaulin over it. The tarpaulin is writhing and undulating. Undulating. That's what I thought.
It's a corpse.
Why not? Ernie's eyes pop out, which was easy for Don Calfa to do. Bert closes the door and pulls down the blind on the window.
What is that?
Bert throws back the tarp. Under the tarp are 6 or 7 plastic bags, all filled with something that struggles, flopping around.
What's in those bags?
Rabid weasels.
Ernie jumps back from the sacks.
What? What do you do with a bunch of rabid weasels?
Well, I'm trying to explain it to you, Ernie. You see, they came part of a shipment. They weren't supposed to be rabid, but you know how these things happen.
No, I don't. How do they happen?
Well, like I said, watch Ernie. You don't want to get bit.
Ernie leaps away from the bags.
Well, anyway, we've got them, and we need your help.
What help?
We need to destroy them.
Drink a couple of drinks.
Yep.
Help.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, 2 drinks.
Billy Ray, what are you doing?
I'm falling asleep on the job. God damn.
Oh, are we that boring to you, Billy Ray? Are the monkeys not dancing enough for you?
I can juggle.
Calm down, Michael Clark.
I can juggle.
Hey, that feels racist.
All right, guys, I'm going to need about 5 minutes to get back into character if you don't mind.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
I have no idea. Where are we? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Okay. Well, anyway, we've got them, and we need your help. We already drank.
Yeah. What help?
We have to destroy them.
Well, why don't you call the animal shelter?
If the story got out, it might hurt my business. You know, the rabies and everything.
I don't think so. So what? You don't run a pet store? So some lab animals got rabies. Take them to the pound.
Well, we can, Ernie. You've got to take my word for it. I'm asking you as a friend.
What the hell do you want me to do?
Ernie, you have a crematorium.
You want me to burn them?
That's about the size of it, Ernie.
But that's cruel.
The only way, Ernie.
You can't just burn them alive. It's too awful. I mean, at least let me kill them first.
Ernie takes out his pistol.
Now just carry them out to the parking lot and I'll put them out of their misery.
Bert looks nervously at Frank and Freddie.
Well, Ernie, I don't think that would work.
What do you mean? Why not?
He looks back and forth at the 3 men who exchange meaningful glances.
Ernie, can you swear that you're going to keep a secret?
I don't know.
Well, you have to swear or I can't tell you.
All right. I swear.
Well, Ernie, it's not rabbit weasels in the bags.
Ernie stares at the struggling sacks, grips his pistol. Bert goes over to one of the sacks and pulls loose the tape that holds it shut. He pulls the bag open a little, revealing a hand, clenching and unclenching. Ernie reacts. Bert picks up the bag and empties its contents onto the floor in front of Ernie. A human arm, sawed off at the shoulder, falls to the floor and starts writhing. Everyone stands and stares down at it for a frozen minute. Then it whips around like a blind snake and comes into contact with Ernie's ankle. It grabs Ernie's ankle and wraps itself around Ernie's leg. Ernie lets out a strangled scream and jumps back, trying to kick the thing off. Bert and the guys leap forward and start pulling it off him. As it comes off, it holds onto his pants cuff, tearing his pants leg. Rip. Bert throws it back into the sack. Ernie is white and shaking, his pants cuff flopping.
Better sit down, Ernie. I have a long story to tell you.
Back at the cemetery, Dee Dee is making love with suicide. Scuzz and Meat are standing by, swilling beer.
Me next.
Hey, what time is it?
Going on 8 o'clock.
Oh, shit. I better get over and find Freddie. He's supposed to be getting off work any time now.
Well, you go ahead. We'll wait here.
Don't go anywhere.
Tina picks her way out of the cemetery. It's unusual. Moving past the monuments and crypts, she passes through the archway that is at the entrance and passes out into the street. On the street, standing under the street light that hangs above the cemetery entrance, Tina looks across the street. She sees the Unita Medical Supply Warehouse on the other side of the street. The street, we're saying street a lot here, not good writing. Street is totally deserted. It is creepy after dark. There's other words for street. See if you're a street, and never mind.
They were anticipating the drinking.
On the other side, it is creepy after dark with pools of light, piles of garbage, and the distant sound of the city. Across the street in the warehouse, the light still burns in a couple of windows, and Frank's car is parked on the lot. Tina starts across the street. Tina crossing the street. Very German expressionist, long shadows, acute angles, reflections of light in a wet street, and so forth. The warehouse. Tina arrives at the side door to the warehouse. I'll take a drink for that one.
Hell yeah.
There is a sign over the doorbell button. Night bell. She goes over and rings it. While she waits for someone to answer the bell, she looks around. She feels spooky. She rings again, really leans on the bell. Distantly inside, we can hear it ring.
Come on, Freddie, where are you?
In the embalming room, Ernie, Bert, Frank, and Freddie are sitting looking at each other. Bert has just finished telling the story.
Well, those are the facts, Ernie.
Ernie looks at the squirming bags.
Frankly, Bert, I think you acted precipitously in cutting up the corpse.
Well, you may be right. That as it may, the question is, what are we going to do about it?
Bart and the boys look beseechingly at Ernie.
If I let you guys use the crematorium, what do you give me?
They look at him blankly.
What do you want?
Wow. The way I see it, it's a pretty big favor.
Ernie, you got it. Whatever you want, I'll do it. I swear.
Well, let's take care of your problem.
In the crematorium, at the oven, Ernie's hands turn the knobs that ignite the gas jets with a loud thump. Ernie, Bert, Frank, and Freddie all standing around. The stretcher with the wiggling plastic bags is on the floor, and Ernie is lighting the oven.
Yes, I reckon you're going to owe me a big one.
So this will destroy everything, right? With nothing left over.
Oh, everything will go.
Including the bones.
Oh, the bones are no problem. The hardest thing to burn is the heart.
The heart? Why?
It's a big, tough muscle.
Well, we don't want the heart sticking around, Ernie.
Oh, don't worry. I'll turn it up even hotter for the heart.
And the split dog. That has to go too.
The split dog will go too.
Ernie opens the door of the oven and pulls out the long sliding stainless steel rack that bodies are burned on.
Give me a hand here.
They start transferring the squirming bags from the stretcher to the steel rack.
So there won't be nothing left then.
Nothing but a little pile of ashes.
We don't even want ashes, Ernie.
Then I'll turn it up higher and we'll burn the ashes too.
They slide the rack into the oven. I don't want to read that. As they shove the rack into the oven, the camera also moves into the cremation oven and slam. The oven door is closed behind us. Across the surface of the stainless steel, the gas jets curl up around the flopping, struggling bags. The plastic quickly burns off, revealing the limbs, bits of torso and head, all squirming. No, that's on me. Rolling around, hopping, and the split dog. The flesh itself begins to burn and blacken as it turns into ash. Outside the crematorium, black smoke pouring from the smokestacks. The camera pans up to a fat column of black, oily smoke, following the smoke up towards the sky until it reaches the clouds. When the smoke mixes with the clouds, there is a blinding explosion of lightning, a veritable hydra of electricity. A veritable hydra. Dancing all over the sky, the cloud begins to rain, following the rain down to the cemetery. Camera cranes down to the ground to watch the rain saturate the graves, splattering on the gravestones and tombs, the droplets running over the green grass and down into the rich earth. As the droplets of cold rain pound on the surf, it seems to steam as though it were hitting a hot automobile hood. The punk getting rained on, including Dee Dee, who is still nude.
Hey, shit, it's raining.
Let's get back to the car.
Turn and run toward the street. Tina is caught in the downpour. She tries the door. It's open. She hurries inside. Tina stands just inside the door, shivering, brushing the rain off herself.
Freddie? Hello, anybody?
At the punk's car. The punks bolt for the car and jump in. Outside is a blinding downpour. Suicide tries to start the car. It won't.
Hey, my skin burns.
Me too.
That rain is like acid rain.
Shit, it's all over me. A towel. Somebody give me a towel.
Ain't got no towel.
She tears it off him and begins to towel herself dry. That's you, Dee Dee.
Drying myself off. Oh,
Oh.
crap. I wonder.
Sorry.
what's in the rain?
Exterior cemetery. You get a really compressed look of dense clusters of gravestones with rain bouncing off them. Loud, stereophonic rain sound. Outside the window of the crematorium, the rain is coming down in sheets and lightning is flickering. The oven is crackling merrily. Oh, I like that. Crackling merrily. Ernie goes over and looks out the window.
Look at that. It's coming down like a bastard.
The clouds pouring down rain. Camera moves down to the ground where the rain is beginning to pool up. Camera sinks down into the ground, past tree roots, where we see the rainwater trickling down through beds of pebbles, trickling over stones. Bill, you built that set, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
The chemical-laden water hisses as it sinks through the ground, filling the empty spaces in the ground with smoke and steam, causing a pebble to drop and clatter, weakening the earth, until the water reaches a coffin. The water pools on the lid of the coffin, eating a little air pocket in eating a little air pocket in the dirt above the coffin, and begins to seep through the lid. The rainwater drips through the corroded lid and down into the coffin. Drip, drip, drip. That's what it says. Meanwhile, Ernie is poking around inside the oven with a poker while Bert peers anxiously at his shoulder, over his shoulder. That's me. Fuck. Go ahead.
Is the heart gone?
Yep, all burned up.
Are you sure?
It's all gone. Right up the chimney.
Okay, thank God that's over. Maybe this is going to come out all right after all.
Bert lights a shaky cigarette and inhales deeply. He claps his hands together and rubs them briskly.
Well, let's get back over to the warehouse, clean up the mess. Ernie, we are forever in your debt.
I know.
Frank and Freddie are sitting slumped on a bench. They look very sick.
Just a minute, Bert. Let us just catch our breath here, and we'll go do it.
Hey, man, I don't know about you, but I'm really sick.
What's wrong?
I feel like shit is what. I'm really sick.
Yeah, I feel sick too.
Bert squats in front of Freddie and Frank.
Sick how?
I just want to puke. Oh, God. God, I feel weak. Weak, like my arms are made of lead.
Yeah, me too. But I'm cold on top of it. I got a terrible chill. It's that stuff. We breathe that stuff.
What stuff?
When the canister cracked, this gas squirted out. It hit us right in the face. Oh, God, we breathed it. It knocked us out. We were out cold, unconscious for almost an hour.
Christ.
Bert and Ernie edge back from Frank and Freddie uneasily. Too.
And we'd better get to a doctor.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll go get my car and take you guys to the emergency ward.
Suddenly, Frank stumbles to his feet and runs to the door, throws it open, sticks his head out into the rain, and vomits. Yay! Outside, thunder and lightning and wind. They pull him back inside and push the door shut against the moaning wind.
Gotta call my wife. Tell her I'm going to the hospital.
Listen, you can't go running around in the storm. You're too sick. I'll call an ambulance.
Get paramedics.
Ernie picks up the phone and dials 411.
Can I have the number of the city paramedics? Fire department?
Speaking of fire department, if you would like to make a donation to the California Wildfire Relief Fund, please go to our website, scriptsgonewild.com, click on the donate tab, and make your donation. You guys have already been sending me screenshots about donations. Keep making those donations. Now, back to the action.
What's
he hangs up and dials the number.
Hello, yes. Can we get some paramedics over here? Resurrection Funeral Home at 21702 East Central. Tell them to come around the back to the embalming room. Poisoning. We've got 2 men poisoned here. No, we don't know what kind of poison. Right. Okay.
Ernie hangs up.
They're on their way.
Frank and Freddie hold their heads in their hands and moan. At Suicide's car, Suicide is grinding the ignition.
Suicide.
This car ain't going nowhere.
Hey, do you hear something?
Hear what?
Something.
They listen. In the cemetery, camera begins to drift over the tombstones. Dozens and dozens of names, dates of birth, death, dozens and dozens of gravestones. Distantly muffled behind the rain, we begin to hear a sound. The sound comes from below the ground, soft, almost too muted to hear. It is the sound of kicking and screaming. Dozens, hundreds of corpses in their coffins, 6 feet down, screaming and kicking. Long shot, row upon row of the rain-swept monuments and crypts, their occupants screaming and pounding in stereophonic sound. Interior coffin night, terrible screaming and scuffling and kicking. With clawed fingers, a corpse is tearing away at the lid of the coffin. Dirt falls in and the corpse claws its way up out of the coffin. Like a giant earthworm, the corpse digs its way upwards through the wet earth. Clods of dirt falling into the camera, sounds of digging and scuffling and choking, gasping, screaming, total claustrophobia, sensation of being crushed. At the car, the crashing of the rain and the storm make it impossible to hear the screaming corpses.
Nah, I don't hear nothing.
Roof's leaking.
The car is a convertible and there is a tear in the roof. Scuzz picks at it. Water gushes in.
Don't do that. Shit.
At the warehouse, Tina hears a slight sound. She comes inside, looking around carefully.
Hello? Is there anybody in here?
Tina
Hey.
moves.
Hello?
Tina moves through the dark shadows. That was on me. She comes out into the warehouse proper. The warehouse is in semi-darkness, a few lights on here and there, and utter quiet. She starts walking through the warehouse, past the piled crates, through the shadows.
Freddie? Anybody? Hello there?
She looks over and sees Freddie's hat, his red baseball cap, lying on the floor next to the cellar door. She walks over and picks it up.
Freddie? Are you here?
The cellar door stands open. Light pours from it. Tina peers into the cellar, craning her neck. The lights are on below. She hears a slight sound.
Hello? Is somebody there?
She starts down into the cellar. As she steps on the third step down, it creaks and shifts under her foot. She glances down at it and keeps descending the stairs. At the bottom of the steps, she looks around. Bare electric bulbs glowing, dust all over the place.
Jeez, what a smell. Anybody here?
She looks over and sees the huge canisters, the ones labeled Property Department of the Army. She walks over to them. The nearest one has obviously been opened. Its lid is up with signs of disturbance in the dust that coats it. Curiosity overtakes her. She raises the lid of the tank and looks down into it. The glass that formerly sealed it is shattered, smashed away. In the bottom of the tank is nothing except some black sludge. She wrinkles her nose at the stench, stronger here. Her eye goes from the black slime in the tank to the floor next to the tank. There is more of the slime on the floor, and a trail of it leads away from the tank. The trail of black liquid, which has a smeared appearance, I'm going to get that one, leads over to the corner of the cellar, back behind some crates in the black shadows. Something moves in the shadows. Tina stiffens.
Who's there?
Something starts to shuffle forward out of the shadows. First, we see its feet. Then the rest of it comes into the light. It is a hideous, horrible monstrosity. It is the body that was in the tank. It is a skeleton covered with black, tarry glop, wobbly and loathsome. It speaks in a voice like vomit.
Brains.
It shuffles toward Tina, waving its arms at her. She does not scream. Instead, she gasps, a huge intake of air that fills her entire chest cavity, and her eyes get huge and round as saucers, like Beverly's did. She turns and runs for the stairs, dashes up them, gasping and panting in horror. As she hits that third step from the top, you all saw this coming down on it with all her weight, it gives way, splintering with a loud noise and collapsing. Tina's leg goes right through the step as it caves in and falls down to her hip. She hangs there for a second with one leg poking through, kicking and trying to find a purchase. Odd choice of words. She clutches at the stairs and walls with her arms.
Frank, you're judging this script.
I know I am. I'm so sorry. It's what I do. I can't help it.
He's a writer, Jonah. Yeah.
Purchase. Street. Come up with something else. Boulevard, maybe?
This is a good time to mention that
it looks down at the stairs behind her. The thing is starting up the stairs, leaving a black trail behind it.
Brains.
She screams now and tries to claw herself upright. But at that second, another step gives in and she falls through the stairs. She lands, thud, on the concrete below the steps. She lies there, gasping in pain, trying to pull herself upright. The tar man turns and starts back down the steps toward her, slopping along. Tina pulls herself upright and limps out from under the steps. The tar man is blocking her way to the stairs. It starts toward her, reaching for her.
Hive brains.
Screams. No scream?
It cut out. It was a good scream.
It was a great scream.
I heard it from the other side of the house.
You
heard it.
No, we heard it. It's just that you stayed far enough away from the mic that it didn't blow out.
Yeah. Okay, let's just try that again. D, just for those YouTubers out there, for people watching on the internet, do an ASMR screen.
I thought you were gonna go. That's good. That was good.
That's good. You're better at ASMR than I am, dude.
Well, that's why I make the big bucks.
She spies a little closet standing.
Check me out on OnlyFans.
A little alcove with a door. She runs into it and slams the door shut. Tina pulls the heavy steel door shut as tight as she can and hangs onto the knob. Light filters in through a little round ventilation holes drilled into the door. The tar man slops up to the door and starts pulling on it. She grabs a rope and ties it to the knob. Then she ties the other end to a pipe. And I lost my place. And I drink. You bet.
And also, I don't think you heard me earlier when I said this, but Jill, they've decided that you need to drink next.
They, the mysterious collective they.
You have been targeted, Jill. Continue.
It's always a they.
Now I've totally lost where. Oh, here we go. Then she ties the other end to a pipe in the back wall. The tar man tugs at the door in vain. It won't come open. We get it now. Punk's car. Go ahead.
I gotta get out of here. Let's go over where Tina and Freddie are.
Yeah, damn right.
Scuzz.
Fuck.
Fuck. Oh, and it's the word.
Hey.
And it's the word fuck. I'm an expert at this word. Fucking A.
They jump out of the car and dash across the street through the downpour, their shoes splashing in deep puddles of water. Camera looks down from a high angle as the street lights reflect in the water, and their footfalls create rings of ripples. In the closet in the warehouse, Tina crouches in the darkness, sobbing with fear and hanging onto the doorknob with all her might. Outside, the tar man pounds on the door rhythmically, repetitively. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, I know. Oh, I've got a peanut gallery here now helping me. Bang, pause, bang, pause, bang. Suddenly, the pounding stops. The shadow of the tar man moves away from the little holes in the door. Tina moves up and peeks through the vent holes. Her POV, the cellar. The tar man can be seen moving about. The tar man, slurping as he moves, that's nice, is going over to a big winch, which dangles from the ceiling. He gets a hold of the end of the chain and brings it over to the closet door, where he hangs the big hook through a bar on the door. Then he slops over and starts winding the crank. The winch starts turning and the chain draws tight. Clickety, 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 creaking and groaning, the door frame starts to give. Exterior warehouse. The punks arrive at the warehouse. They don't bother to knock. They just charge into the door, the same door Tina went in. They rush inside, brushing off the rain.
My skin really burns. Ouch. Ouch.
She grabs some cloth and begins to dry herself off.
Hey, Tina!
Tina's voice comes back in reply, a distant shout.
Great. There was a help in there.
There was?
Yes.
They break into a run toward the sound of her voice, toward the basement door. They're all yelling at the same time, running over each other's lines. Feel free to do a fun run with this, folks.
Is that Tina?
What you yelling about?
Where the fuck is she?
Through that door!
They charge into the door of the basement. The punks come thundering down the stairs, taking care to mind the third step from the top. Suicide in the lead. They hit the bottom of the stairs in time to see the door Tina's hiding behind splinter and give way with a loud cracking and splitting sound as the winch is turned tighter. The winch is being turned by the tar man. The punks stare, not sure what they're seeing. Some kind of dirty, filthy, horrible, rotten.
What the fuck?
The tar man turns its hideous head and looks at him.
Brains?
It reaches over, grabs Suicide by the ears, yanks his head down, and bites into the top of his stubby shaved head like eating a melon without slicing it first, or say an egg in a shell. Crack. Suicide screams horribly, but briefly, and his whole body twitches. His arms and legs fly out in a reflex reaction of having a piece bitten out of his brain. The other punks stare in unbelieving horror at what is taking place in front of them. Tina screams and runs out of the closet, past them and up the stairs. She's not waiting around to see what happens. The others stare stupidly as the tar man takes another bite out of Suicide's skull. Chomp.
Yo, meat.
Fuck.
Drink.
Meat grabs brick and throws it at the tar man. The brick hits on its shoulders, knocking off part of it. Knocking off part of his shoulders is what they mean. The tar man looks up at Meat and the rest of the punks.
More brains.
At that, they all bolt for the stairs. Warehouse. Head of the stairs. The punks come running out. The last one out, Meat, turns and slams the basement door shut.
Help me!
Very quickly.
Help.
Bar this door! Don't run away, you fuckers!
Mortuary. Exterior, a city ambulance, its emergency lights flashing, pulls up in the mortuary back lot. 2 paramedics in raincoats jump out and run in through the rain. Ernie lets the 2 paramedics in, brushing rain off themselves.
Who took the poison?
Those guys there.
Points to Frank and Freddie, who sit wrapped in blankets, shivering. Each of them has a puke bucket next to him. Their complexions are gray and greasy, with purple circles under their yellow bloodshot eyes.
What did you guys take?
It was some kind of industrial chemical, something in a tank.
A tank, where?
We're not sure.
Can you find out? Your friend's lives may depend on it.
Oh, well, I could make calls, but not before the morning.
Let's take some vital signs.
They put thermometers in Frank and Freddie's mouths. The new fancy kind with digital readouts.
Frank, it sounds like you want to judge that.
I do not.
Okay.
I've got no problem with digital readouts.
Okay, good.
Paramedic number 1 wraps a blood pressure cuff around Frank's arm, while number 2 takes Freddie's pulse. Both paramedics adjust their instruments, trying to get a better reading. Both look puzzled.
Can I borrow your stethoscope?
What's wrong?
I can't hear anything through mine.
Are you sure it's the stethoscope?
What do you mean?
Do Paul Lind.
These guys are dead.
I'm having trouble getting a pulse on this one, too.
The paramedics switch patients.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
The paramedics do not answer. They just continue to listen to Frank and Freddie's pulses.
No blood pressure.
No pulse.
What do you mean? No blood pressure, no pulse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 paramedics bend over their instruments in silent concentration. Frank and Freddie stare at them with growing horror. One of the thermometers beeps, then the other. The paramedics take them out of their patients' mouths and look at them.
What do you have?
70.
70 what?
70 degrees.
What's that?
It's your temperature. Come here a sec. I want to talk to you.
The 2 paramedics walk over to the corner of the room and hold a whispered conference, glancing over at Freddie and Frank.
What are you guys saying? 70 degrees is room temperature.
I know.
Meanwhile, the punks are finishing hammering a bunch of nails into the cellar door. They get quiet.
God. Oh, God. What was that horrible thing?
What the fuck are we gonna do?
Suicide's down there.
Oh, man. He's gone, man. It ate his head.
I don't hear nothing down there. Do you?
You gotta call somebody.
Who?
The cops.
I don't want to call no cops. The cops are just going to kick our ass.
Just let's get out of here.
We gotta call somebody.
Where's Freddie?
He was gone, mate. He wasn't here when I showed up, mate.
Okay. All right.
That must have been him that went into the funeral parlor.
No.
A while ago. He was with some other guy. Scuzz and me saw him.
Well, why the fuck did you say something?
Hey, don't yell at me. It was Scuzz said not to do anything.
Hey, I didn't think it was him. I mean, what the fuck is Freddie doing in a funeral parlor?
And Meat says very quickly,
all right. Listen. We'll go over to the funeral house and see if Freddie's there. And we'll call somebody from there. It's fine.
Reverse Boomhauer.
It's fine isn't my cue, but I'll go with it. I don't want to call no cops.
I don't want to call no cops.
I don't want to call no cops.
Hey, get fucked, Scuzz, with your cop paranoia. We're in deep shit.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
they turn and run through the darkened warehouse toward the back door. Outside, the 6 punks hurry across the back parking lot toward the cemetery. A tree limb lies across the middle of the street. The rain is coming down in sheets. The wind blows it in gusts. Lightning flashes and explodes. The graveyard is running with mud. Slippery, slimy, horrible mud. Not just regular mud. 6 punks come through the main gate, and Kasey points across to the other side of the cemetery where the mortuary is. They start across, taking a oh, fuck.
Dodgers just won.
Dodgers won.
I know that because we live in Highland Park.
No, they did not win. They were losing by 2 runs in the ninth. They probably lost.
I just heard fireworks.
The fireworks don't lie, Dave.
They let them off no matter what.
I was DVRing the game. Thank you.
There it is, folks. They lost.
Spoilers.
Moving on.
All right.
All right. Well, we live by optimists. All right. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to skip that word. In the middle of the cemetery, they find themselves temporarily stranded by a huge lake of water. They huddle under the overhanging eaves of a large crypt.
Jesus. Shit. We're going to have to swim to get over there.
Suddenly, out of the darkness and rain comes a horrible scream. The punks freeze with fear.
What the fuck was that?
In front of them, out of the liquid mud above one grave, a pair of rotted hands claw into the air.
Look! Something there!
Frantically, the hands pull the compacted dirt out of the way, and a corpse sticks his head up out of the mud. The corpse tilts his head back, fills its lungs with air. There he is right there. And lets out a terrible howl of agony.
Do you want a party? It's party time!
The punks scream in unison and turn and bolt in different directions, oblivious now of the water they must run through. Chuck and Kasey turn back toward the warehouse. Tina, Meat, and Scuzz run toward the mortuary. Tina trips and falls flat on her nose in the mud. As she is getting up, she looks out across the and guess what she sees? 40 or 50 graves, out of each which is crawling a corpse, an army of corpses, almost all of them screaming their heads off in hysterical panic. Meat pulls her to her feet and they run on. Dee Dee, stumbling through the graveyard alone, her shirt sticking to her.
Hey, wait, you guys, wait! I got no shoes!
Dee Dee splashes through a pool of silvery water foaming in the rain.
Wait, you guys!
Meanwhile, the paramedics come back over from their huddle. Number 1 takes out a rubber hammer and hits Freddie's knee. No response. He goes and hits Frank's knee. No response. He takes a penlight from his pocket and shines it into Freddie's eyes. He and number 2 stare at Freddie's eyes. Then they do the same to Frank. Finally, number 1 switches off the penlight and straightens up.
You have no pulse. Your blood pressure is 0/0. You have no pupillary response, no reflexes, and your temperature is 70 degrees.
What does that mean?
Well, technically, you're not alive, except you're conscious. So we don't know what it means, except we obviously have to get you to a hospital.
There is a long silence, almost like Meat was talking.
Yeah, I get it. Yep. I made a choice. I made an artistic choice.
I understand. That's cool.
Frank doesn't like it.
Frank
he doesn't like the movie that we're
taking apart
reading.
the script, taking apart Dave's.
All right. First thing, Dave, you stink. Second, what is with these words in the script? Fuck.
Everything else, perfect. Great.
Is everything okay with my George C. Scott impression?
Can you dial it back a little bit? I feel like it's too fun.
I just want to point out that the character in the movie is Spider, so Dave is the definitive meat.
Thank you, guys.
Right. Mm-hmm. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Suddenly, there was a tremendously loud hammering on the front door of the mortuary.
Hey, you skipped paramedics' lines.
Damn it.
Oh, I did.
You did.
Well, then I drink. So good. Do your lines, for Christ's sake.
There is a long silence.
Yeah. And then it's Frank.
And then it's Frank. Unless on Frank's script, it's not Frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you read it, Clay.
You say we're dead?
Well, let's not get carried away here. We don't know what it means.
Obviously, I didn't mean you're dead. Dead people don't move around and talk.
Right.
Suddenly, there is a tremendously loud hammering on the front door of the mortuary. Everybody jumps.
The hell is that?
Ernie.
Ernie.
Somebody at the front door. Was that too quiet? Somebody at the front door. That's what it said.
Oh, what the fuck are they doing?
I'll go find out. Is this the level of I have to speak at?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I'm
Ernie
trying to
draws-
do a nuanced Ernie.
Can we,
A lot of drama critics in
Dave,
here.
this is your influence. This is all your fault.
What? In what way?
What?
can we
Please
take a deep
elaborate.
breath? Let's take a
Ernie-
deep breath.
Ernie draws his Luger and heads out of the room.
We're going to go get a couple of stretchers and radio into the hospital. Hang in there. We won't be a second.
The two medics trot to the door and throw it open. The rain blows in and they trot out. Camera moves in on Frank and Freddie's faces, staring at each other in horror.
We're halfway through, guys. Here we go.
It's 9 o'clock already, for Christ's sake.
Ooh. Don't tell me who won the game.
Interior, mortuary. Ernie hurries through the hallways of the funeral home, quiet and empty of human life. He's heading for the front entrance, and as he goes, the pounding on the front door is continual and hysterical. The entrance foyer is dark as Ernie steps into it, his gun raised. With great caution, in the darkness, he approaches the front door. Silhouetted figures can be seen through the glass in the door, banging and screaming. Ernie crouches down behind a chair and props the gun on the chair back, aiming it at the figures on the other side of the glass. Then, with his free hand, he reaches over and turns on the outside porch light. It comes on, illuminating Tina, Meat, and Scuzz. They look terrifying in their weird appearance, drenched in the rain, jumping up and down and banging and screaming. Cautiously, Ernie emerges from the chair and creeps toward the front door. He is still invisible to them as there is no light inside the entryway. Suddenly, he leaps forward, yanks the door open, shoves the gun out, and shouts,
Freeze, or you're dead.
Drink.
Leap back,
Oh,
dead.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. You've got to let us in. They're after us.
Are you crazy? Are you on drugs?
Absolutely.
God, mister, let us in that door.
All right, come in. But don't make any funny moves.
He waves them in with the gun, keeping it trained on them. As soon as they are inside, Meat slams the door shut.
You've got to lock all the doors and the windows. Also call the cops. They're out there.
What? Who's out there?
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Shut up and listen, man.
They get quiet. The rain is loud, but behind it can be heard a chilling screeching.
What is that?
It's monsters screaming.
What monsters you say?
Yes. They all came up out of the ground, hundreds and hundreds of them, and they came after us.
Out of the ground?
And our friends took off the other way back to the warehouse, and they're out there now.
Outside the warehouse, Kasey and Chuck are running across the street, pursued by corpses from the graveyard. The two humans run up to the back door of the warehouse, yank it open, run inside, and slam it shut. Frantically, Chuck and Kasey lock the door. Corpses leer through the barred windows.
Dee Dee, where's Dee Dee?
Didn't she go with them?
I thought she was with us.
Dee Dee is still in the cemetery, lost and alone. She runs blindly through the mud, careening off of gravestones. Her only garment, the shirt she took off Meat, is soaked and falling off her. She stumbles and falls. When she gets up, she is surrounded by a dozen corpses. They scream. She screams. They all crawl toward her, surrounding her. Dozens of hands reaching for her in the driving rain, rotting, melting arms, grabbing her as she screams and pulling her down into the mud. Ew. Meanwhile, the two paramedics are heading for their ambulance truck.
Hey, do you hear that?
Hear what?
Dimly audible through the rain comes the screams and moans of the corpses in the graveyard.
Christ Jesus in Hollywood Squares.
What is that?
Sounds like people screaming. Ah!
You get the stretchers. I'll get on the radio and call this in.
Paramedic number 1 heads for the front of the truck. Number 2 starts for the back. Paramedic number 1 pulls open the driver's door and climbs into the cab, slides behind the wheel, dripping rain everywhere. He turns the key in the ignition, turning over the engine, and he turns on the headlights. The headlights reveal a bunch of corpses standing right in front of the ambulance, covered with mud and filth. Paramedic gasps and freezes. Immediately, the door on the right-hand side is yanked open and a corpse starts coming in. The paramedic instantly throws open the opposite door on the driver's side and leaps out, straight into the arms of a corpse. They drag him out into the ground and bend him over. Ow.
Ouch.
One of the corpses gets its mouth. Oh, shit. I have a lot of words.
You want to pick up the pace there? Go a little faster, Frank. A little faster.
One of the corpses gets its mouth on the back of paramedic's head. Fight. Crunch. The medic screams hoarsely and jerks like a sledgehammered horse. Paramedic number 2, who was picking up stretchers, hears the scream and looks up.
My platonic partner, Jerry.
The rain blurred by the scream, making it hard to be sure what he heard. He drops the stretcher and climbs out the back of the ambulance. He starts to walk around the open rear door of the truck, heading toward the front. As he comes around the door, oh shit. As he comes around the open door, he walks right into the corpse. Ah! He starts backing away from the corpse and backs right into another corpse. It grabs him.
Get your hands off me.
Wrestle with him and get control of him. Then they bite through his skull and eat his brains.
Oh, goddamn.
In the embalming room, Ernie comes hustling into the room where Bert is watching over Frank and Freddie.
Bert, we got a problem.
Another one?
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Ernie gestures for him to come into the other room. Bert follows him out, leaving Frank and Freddie alone, sick. Bert follows Ernie in and sees the punks, that would be Tina, Meat, and Scuzz, standing there, drenched in rain and jumping around nervously.
What's going on here?
Mister, that graveyard out there is full of people that are coming up out of the ground.
What?
Out of the ground. They're horrible and they scream and you gotta do something!
Scream?
Mister! They're out there! And there's one of them over in that warehouse and they've been eating people.
Warehouse?
That medical supply house on the other side of the graveyard.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You get the point, Bert?
Oh my God.
Lots of screaming bodies coming up out of the graveyard.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And you're asking yourself, but how did it happen? How did it happen?
But what? But it's my line. But how did it happen? How did it happen?
Look, mister, I don't know. All I know is we got to call the cops fast.
Here's the thing you gotta know about Bert. He'll say in this moment, no cops.
No cops.
We gotta call the cops. There's 100 of those things out there.
100? Really?
No fucking way it's that many. Come on.
Kasey and Chuck are standing in the darkness listening to corpses pounding on the door and screaming for brains.
The cops, we gotta call the cops.
Yeah, no shit. Where the fuck is the phone?
They start looking around for a phone. Their eyes glow moistly with fear in the semi-darkness. The pounding and screeching of the corpses is nerve-wracking.
There's an office.
She has spotted Frank's office. They hurry toward it. The phone sits on Bert's desk next to the window. Kasey rushes to it and picks it up. She dials 0.
Hello, operator. Give me the police. This is an emergency.
Suddenly, the window is smashed in and the corpse reaches in for Kasey. She screams and leaps back. The corpse crawls in through the broken window. It sees the phone on the desk and grabs it and yanks it off the wall. Then it throws it at Kasey and Chuck. They shoot out of the office and slam the door shut. Chuck quickly pushes over a big filing cabinet in front of the door to Bert's office. It hits the floor with a resounding crash, making furniture jump.
Where's that hammer and nails?
Kasey runs to get it. Meanwhile, at the mortuary, Ernie, Bert, meet Scuzz, and Tina arguing.
All right, forget the police. Let's just get out of here.
Do you have a car?
I have a car.
Then grab your keys and let's get our ass out of here and gear. I'm gonna drink for that.
You should drink for a lot of reasons. Wait, how many of us are there? I've only got one car.
To turn off the voices in my head, Jonah. That's not funny.
Yeah, no. Wait, there's an ambulance.
That's it. The ambulance. Some of us can go in the ambulance.
Where's the ambulance?
This way.
They hurry into the embalming room. Frank and Freddie are sitting in great pain, gasping for breath, when the others, that would be Ernie, Bert, Meat, Scuzz, and Tina, come hurrying in.
Freddie!
He runs to him.
Hello, Tina.
You two know each other.
Oh my God, Freddie, what did they do to you?
Where's the paramedics?
Freddie just shakes his head, hurting too much to talk.
I'll go get them and get my own car started.
Ernie gets his keys from his pocket of his coat, hanging on a hook, and throws the door open, strides out into the rain. Exterior, Ernie hustles out into the driving rain, gun in hand, fishing amongst the keys on the ring for his car key. Up ahead of him sits the ambulance, its doors standing open. The ambulance's lights are on. Ernie hurries toward it. He hurries up to the door on the driver's side, which is open. He looks in the front seat. It is empty. Puzzled, he closes the car door. As the door swings shut, it reveals paramedic number 1's body, which is lying on the wet cement with a corpse eating on its head. Ernie's cheeks pop out with vomit, and he makes a noise like "erp."
Erp?
Yeah, that's spelled U-R-P.
Oh, sorry.
Erp. The corpse looks right into his eyes with blood all over its mouth and chin. It is an awful sight. It's an old corpse, mostly a skeleton held together by tendons and dried skin. It is an especially hideous corpse. Ernie fires at the corpse. The bullet strikes it, knocking it over. It jumps right back up again and comes at him. Ernie screams and turns around and runs back toward the mortuary. Ernie comes through the door like a ram's tailback and spins around and slams the door shut. That was a sports reference. Fortunately, it is a big, heavy door. There is a security bolt, which he throws, and he slams shut the shutters on the windows.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
What, Ernie? What?
Fortunately, it was a big, heavy door. It
what, Ernie? What the fuck is it?
Ernie looks around wildly, crazed looking. Everybody is riveting, staring at him.
Horrible. All over the cars. They're out there. We can't take the cars. We've got to call the police.
Ernie turns and runs down the hall to his office. Ernie's office. Ernie turns the light on, rushes over to the desk and grabs the phone. Bert, Meat, and Scuzz come in the door after him. Ernie holds it to his ear and starts to dial. Then he stops and jiggles the cradle button.
It's dead.
Drink.
Ah.
And also, Izzy, according to YouTube, you need to double drink.
Really, Ray? Are there rules governing this YouTube making people drink wrinkle?
No,
Yeah, I don't really believe that there are actually people saying this. You're just
they are. Oh, they are. I'm prompting it, but
you're
saying
drunk with power.
It's Billy Ray's AA group all watching right now.
Oh no.
Now back to the read.
This is the first drink I've had in 26 years. I got off the wagon for this show.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm afraid this right now actually is Billy Ray's AA group.
I mean, this might be the reason why I do quit.
Hey, it works if you work it.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
So let me ask you, Ernie, do you have another line?
No.
Meat pushes his way into the office.
What do you mean the phone is dead?
Drink.
It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Ernie goes to the steel roll-up shutter on the window, slides it up an inch and peers out. Several corpses are crawling around on the wall of the mortuary, using a tree to get up and ripping out wires that connect from the phone poles to the mortuary.
What is it? What's happening?
Meat crouches next to Ernie and looks out.
They're ripping out the wires.
But, Christ, what if they rip out the electric wires too? We'll be in the dark.
No, they can't do that. The power lines are buried. We'll never find them.
Lock that fucking window, will you?
Ernie does so. Suddenly, from the front of the mortuary comes a sound of breaking glass. Ernie gets charging out of the room, and the others follow him. Several corpses are on the front porch, trying to get in through the glass in the door. They've already broken out some of it and are hanging through it, waving their arms. The corpses see the humans.
Brains! Give me some brains!
Ernie fires 2 shots at the corpses and turns and grabs hold of a huge piece of furniture.
Help me.
Bert, Meat, and Scuzz help him push the great piece of furniture.
Oh, help!
Oh,
Yep.
oh, sure.
Billy Ray, I fucking landed that for you.
Jonah made a meal out of that.
Yeah, he's chewing on that like some brains.
I feel ashamed.
Bert, Meat, and Scuzz help him push the great piece of furniture, a big high boy, kind of like Billy Ray right now, against the door, blocking it.
Nail it shut. Get a hammer and nails.
Ernie runs out to the storeroom and comes back with a hammer and some big 10-penny nails. They nail the high boy to the door solidly.
Where else can they get in here?
The windows in the chapel.
They run into the chapel and frantically begin to boarding up the windows, using whatever materials come to hand. Meanwhile, the ambulance is sitting with its doors open. Several corpses sit and lie around it like drunken men. They look satiated.
Yeah.
One corpse sits on the ground holding the body of paramedic number 2 in its lap.
Hey.
It is munching calmly on the back of the medic's head, getting out the last scraps of brain. It raises its head, wipes its mouth, and belches. Anyone? Okay. Its eyes look like it's just had a shot of heroin. Blink, blink, yawn, which is, I guess, the noises you make when you've had a shot of heroin.
It's not.
It gets to its feet and wobbles over to the ambulance.
Yeah, that's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
The heroin
Hey,
reaction?
Come on.
We all remember that scene from Train Spotting where they all start going, blink, blink, yawn, blink, blink, yawn.
Anyway,
That was a
in
deleted
the
scene.
cab of the ambulance, a corpse turns on the radio and picks up the microphone. After some fumbling, it gets a voice to come out of the speaker. Rescue 12, come in. This is dispatch, over. The corpse raises the microphone to its lips.
Come in, dispatch. Send more paramedics.
Oh, shit.
Hey!
Drink! Finish that drink, everybody!
I did just pour some. That's not fun.
Them happened to me last time. I'm so sorry.
I earned this by all my sloppy acting.
I would say you're impeccable.
No, it's not sloppy. It's slow.
But it's a choice. It's okay. It's good.
I know, Frank. That's what I said to you. It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Now Jonah's on my case.
I was just trying to make favors with Frank. I mean, he's the one that books this thing, man.
Listen, Dave, I know everyone hates you, but I love your choice. I love it.
Question.
I don't need to be loved. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's move on. The corpse hangs up. Interior mortuary. That would be Bert, Ernie, Meat, and Scuzz, nail shut the single window.
What else? Where's the rest of the windows?
No more windows. That's all.
Now what are we going to do?
Well, we got to go check on Frank and Freddie.
They hurry out of the room toward the back of the mortuary. Tina is sitting in the embalming room with Freddie, holding on to Freddie. Both Freddie and Frank are curled up in pain as Bert, Ernie, Meat, and Scuzz come in.
How they doing?
Oh, God, the pain.
What did you do to Freddie? What's wrong with him and with this man?
Yeah, I think you better tell us what's going on.
You know, we don't have to tell you anything.
We think you should.
Oh, tell them, God damn it!
All right. It's a chemical, some kind of chemical that soaked into the soil of the graveyard, made the corpses come back to life.
I'd just like to point out here that the description of the scene says a long pause. So I'm going to pour a little wine. Think about my choices.
Oh my God.
Right next to him.
And you don't want to put too much in.
Dave, you're in a scene with the guy from The Sopranos. Fucking show up.
What chemical?
Funny you should ask, because I don't actually know what chemical. It was developed by the U.S. Army.
Sorry. Well, what does the chemical do?
You know, somehow, I don't know how, it kind of makes dead bodies come back to life.
Right?
Christ!
What did I say?
No, you said dead.
Dead.
Ooh.
Oh.
Did someone say Christ already?
I don't think this is going to be enough.
How the fuck did it get all over the graveyard?
Look, I don't know. All I know is we were storing it over at the medical supply house where you were, and these two geniuses managed to open up the tank and let it out.
Is that what Fred's sick?
Sick?
I
Sick?
breathed it, mate. So did Frank there.
Frank moans.
What did it do to you?
I'm freezing. My muscles are stiffening up, and I got no heartbeat.
The actions of horror.
Oh, Freddie.
Stiffening up now?
Ernie kneels by Freddie.
I got a really terrible headache, and my stomach cramped up into a knot, and now my arms and legs are cramping.
Let me see.
Ernie flexes Freddie's arms and legs.
Oh, God! That hurts. Oh, God.
Okay, take it easy, kid.
Freddie is clenching his fist and sitting half doubled up. So is Frank. Ernie looks back and forth at them.
You know, it sounds like rigor mortis is setting in.
Tina gasps. Everyone falls silent. Ernie stares at Freddie and Frank. So does everyone else. Then Ernie kneels by Freddie again.
Help me get his shirt off.
Tina helps Ernie slip off Freddie's shirt. Freddie screams and complains the whole time. When Freddie's chest is exposed, Ernie points to some big purple bruises on Freddie's back.
Those bruises are where he was lying down. That's the blood pooling up.
Ernie stands back, rests his chin on his fingertips, studies Freddie like a great painting.
Fascinating.
Fascinating? Is that what we are, you vultures? Arrgh!
The importance of all this finally sinks in on the punks.
You're dead, and we're going to turn in to them.
Drake.
Oh.
No!
They all start backing away from him, except for Tina, who hangs on to him.
If you're going to be scared of Freddie, you better be scared of me too, because I breathe it too.
When?
When I went down in the basement of the warehouse, the tank was standing open and I sniffed it.
No, the pressure was all gone by then, Tina. Frank and I caught it full in the face.
Listen, what's that?
It's a siren. They all go to the door and look out through the little peephole. Through the peephole, another paramedic truck is driving toward the mortuary, its flashers and siren going.
What is that?
It's another paramedic ambulance.
As they watch, the ambulance pulls up next to the first ambulance, which is still sitting with its doors open. 2 new paramedics get out and walk around to look at the first ambulance. A bunch of
You're right. That was very funny.
A bunch of corpses lurch out of the darkness, grab the new paramedics, and eat their brains. Inside the embalming room, the humans groan and curse.
Oh my God! They're gonna kill everybody that comes here! They're gonna get somewhere and they're gonna warn them! We gotta get the phone out!
I think I would probably kill Tina myself at this point.
I've been thinking about it.
Bones dead, lady?
Frank?
Oh, right.
Oh, dead.
Refilling.
Well, then we gotta run for the cars.
Who wants to go first?
What are we gonna do?
The back parking lot, one of the corpses, the one who called in on the first ambulance, goes to the new ambulance, picks up the radio, and calls in.
Send more paramedics.
Hey, sick.
In the
We don't
embalming
have to
room.
finish it twice.
No,
right?
just the first.
No, just once.
Oh,
I mean, kudos to you for doing that, though.
Guys,
Unless you want.
rules are rules. We got to follow the rules. And we got all finish the drinks.
They want us to drink.
Embalming room.
Oh man, that's no.
Okay, so here we go. Ernie, Bert, me, Scuzz, and Tina.
Lots of lists in this.
They're all looking at Freddie and Frank, who are clenched up like they're having seizures. Tina is, what a surprise, weeping and holding Freddie. Actually, one second. Jill is going to take over for me for 1 minute, right?
Yeah,
Jill?
except I just was totally off script right now.
Potty break for Frankie boy.
All right, you can do it, Jill. We're all counting on you. Be right back.
Come on, Jill. You got this. It's on page. Let's see. 80.
81. 80.
80.
8-0.
Ready?
8-0.
Take us
Here
home,
we
Jill.
go.
All right,
Okay.
we're gonna. I got my clothes back on, so let's see. 81, 80,
80. 0.
0.
Actually, I think it's 82 on the
Sound of a
PDF. but-
siren.
Yeah.
Their
82
POV
on the
to the
PDF.
people.
I got 80.
Oh
Well,
boy.
it's 80 on the
physically
script.
on the page.
80 on the
yeah.
script.
Oh my
Okay.
lord.
At
I
top,
gotta
on the
so
PDF at
much.
the top of 82.
Sweet Jesus.
Top of 80.
Clay, are you
Anyways.
taking your shirt off?
They took my shirt off in the scene.
I know. I just saw all your chest hair and I got
I'm
a
putting
little.
it back.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Hey,
Wait,
Page one.
discuss this line. Here, we already got sent in with Tina is weeping and holding Freddie.
I ain't staying here with them.
Yeah, that's right. We got to do something about them.
Do what?
Throw them out.
You bastard! Why don't we throw you out?
Okay, look. We don't have to throw anybody out, but it'll be a lot wiser if we say, maybe contain Freddie and Frank.
What do you mean contained?
Well, we could lock them up somewhere, and they start acting funny. They can't hurt anybody.
Why don't you lock yourself up?
Because I didn't breathe the gas.
Freddie speaks up with great difficulty.
No, you didn't breathe it, Bert, but you got bit, remember?
Bert goes pale.
Me bit.
Well, yeah, it's true. One of those things bit me, but I ain't going into seizures like those guys because I didn't breathe it. So
Everybody is looking at him peculiarly.
Frank, you had your break and you came
I know,
back.
right?
I know. And
You
now
came
I
back-
caught up where we are, Frank.
Yeah, we spend most of the time on your break
Good
looking
news,
for the
guys,
right
only-
page.
Good news, guys.
Yeah.
Only 40 pages. Only 40
Are-
pages. to go.
40 pages.
Yeah,
Oh,
Frank
boy.
Frank streeted the street and then he streeted it streeter.
Guys, listen, they've done science. Perfection is a lie. So
All right. Where
I'm
did you
here
get
for you, Frank. What?
Where did you get bit, Bert?
Everybody is looking at him peculiarly.
Where did you get bit, Bert?
well, On the leg.
How does your leg feel?
Feels fine.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, let us see it.
Let us see it.
Let's look at your leg, Bert.
Bert sees there is no way around it. He reaches down and pulls up his pants cuff. Bite marks are visible on his ankle. The ankle has swollen and started to turn gray.
Looks pretty nasty, Bert. Looks pretty nasty, Bert. Did that come through?
Oh, that's yeah. Well, that's right. So I got to get some medical attention, I think.
I mean, so do they.
Yeah, that's right. But in the meantime, they're in much worse danger than I am. And anyway, I'm not proposing doing anything to them, for Christ's sakes. Let's just lock them up in another room for a while till we could figure out how to get them help. And if they start acting funny, if I start acting funny, lock me up with them.
Hey, listen. He's got a point. Is there some room where we can put them where we can lock it?
Yes. Yeah. All right. To the chapel.
They all go and get around Frank and Freddie.
We're going to have to carry them. Here, give me a hand.
They all pick up the two paralyzed men who start screaming.
Oh, God, it hurts. Oh, it hurts so badly. Frank, is it hurting you as much as it hurts me?
Oh, man, it's killing me.
Unnerved, they hustle them out of the room and down the hallway. The chapel is not a separate building. It is a room in the mortuary, just in case you were wondering. Ernie flicks on the lights. They, Bert, Meat, Scuzz, Deanna, carry Frank and Freddie in.
Just lay them down the carpet there.
And Freddie
Sorry.
is still screaming. Oh,
That's it.
Freddie. Oh.
That's it. Just leave them here and let's get out.
I'm not leaving, Freddie.
Okay, you just stay here with them, but we're locking the door. Do what you want.
Suddenly, a tremendous crash comes from another room, accompanied by frenzied cries. Ernie, Bert, me, Scuzz, everybody except Frank, Freddie, and Tina run out of the chapel. Ernie stops long enough to slam shut the chapel doors.
Paraphrase! Just start paraphrasing.
He's got to read the paraphrase, though.
Ernie, Bert, Meat, and Scuzz gather in the hall.
The punks! The punks!
Weapons! We gotta have weapons!
This way!
He hurriedly leads them to the storeroom. Ernie turns on the light, a bare bulb with a pull cord, and grabs a bunch of objects that can be used as weapons. A sledgehammer, a small hand axe, and whatever. They are passed around. Meat takes the sledgehammer. Ernie hangs onto his claw hammer and gun. Just in time, because there is another crash from the coffin storage room. They run out of the storage room. Ernie, Bert, Meat, and Scuzz come in to find corpses coming in through the window. They rush over and start bashing the limbs of the corpses as they come in. Between the hammers and the axe, they make a real mess and leave some twitching pieces on the floor. Scuzz tries to push back a board that had come free, and as he does so, a corpse grabs his wrist. Scuzz struggles, squealing.
Make it let go! Make it let go!
Before he can pull free, the corpse bites into his head. Oh, nice.
Oh!
Oh! Nice.
Oh,
Hey, very nice.
Oh,
Excellent.
wait.
Excellent.
Oh.
Wow, you just earned your pay, Mark. Beautiful.
Kudos.
Oh, Jesus.
It keeps happening.
I don't think he's kidding.
Oh, amazing.
This is
Brother.
That's what we call going above and beyond the Call of Duty. Scrubs throws himself back from the window, pulling the corpse halfway inside, its hands and mouth fastened to his head. The others leap to the rescue, attacking the corpse. Bert swings his axe, striking the thing's midsection. It continues to eat Scuzz's head. Bert chops and chops until he hacks the corpse in two. Falls into the room, just the upper half, still clutching Scuzz's head. Meat jams his sledgehammer down against the corpse, pinning it to the floor. Bert and Ernie grab Scuzz by the feet and drag him away from the corpse, which lets go of its grip and on Scuzz's and lies there on Scuzz's head and lies there, arms outstretched. Bert bends over Scuzz's twitching body while Ernie nails the window back shut.
It got him. Christ, it got him.
What are we gonna do with this thing?
Meat is leaning his weight on the end of a sledgehammer to keep the corpse from crawling away. It's only half a corpse, remember. It is squirming like a harp seal.
Wait there for a second.
Ernie runs out of the room.
What the fuck is he doing?
Ernie comes back in with a long pole with a hook on the end, like a boat hook.
You can let it go now.
Well, first he has to reach out and
let me take it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ernie reaches out with the boat hook and snags the half corpse.
You can let it go now.
Are you kidding?
Take a look at it.
Meat looks. The corpse has relaxed. It's no longer screaming or struggling. It has a contented look on its bloody face.
It feels better now.
Surprised, Meat removes the sledgehammer. Using the hook, Ernie drags the half corpse from the room, accompanied by Meat and Bert. Outside, Ernie says,
better nail that door shut.
Hastily, Meat goes to nail the horse. The horse. Son of a bitch.
Frank, you missed a street.
Yeah, how many characters are in this scene? Can you name them very quickly?
All right.
We got Scuzz, 8-Ball, Chains.
Let's just act like we don't want this show to go like more than 2 hours and 45 minutes. Let's just
we don't need all this. We don't need all this embalming room stuff. They put a corpse on a table.
Yeah, there we go, Billy. Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I like it. I like it.
So meanwhile, hastily, and it says hastily, Meat goes to nail the door shut while Ernie and Bert drag the. Oh, I'm not even going to try to say that word.
Yes.
Drag the corpse into the embalming room. Not at this point, I won't try. Bert and Ernie, boy. Hey, Bert.
I got it, Frank.
Jill is eager to take over if you're tired, Frank.
I'm doing great. Look, I've done 24 of these things now. Believe me.
Don't you take his glory, Jill.
That's 24 just today.
Bert and Ernie, yeah, that's right. Bert and Ernie drag the half corpse into the room and using the long hook, get it up onto a stainless steel embalming table. Ernie gets some rope and they wrap it around and around the table, thoroughly tying the corpse so that it can't get away. Meat comes in and joins them while they're doing this. Ernie turns on a bright light over the table, illuminating the half corpse in all its hideousness. The half corpse looks back at them with heavy-lidded junkie's eyes and a small smile. The humans can hardly contain their horror.
Are you sure it's tied securely?
I don't see why not. They're no stronger than humans.
Well, Ernie, I don't understand what you want to do with it. I mean, what are we doing?
I want to examine it.
Ernie leans over the corpse and stares at it.
Can you hear me?
Shockingly, the corpse speaks.
Yes, I hear you.
Ernie shoots the others a triumphant look.
Why do you eat people?
Not people. Brains.
Brains only?
Right.
Why?
The pain.
What about the pain?
The pain of being dead.
Dead?
Oh, yeah.
Dead.
It hurts to be dead?
Dead.
Yes.
The humans stare at the corpse and each other for a moment, digesting, good word for that, this piece of information.
I'm glad you approved.
So what does eating brains have to do with it?
It makes the pain go away.
Another pause. Meat interrupts the discussion.
Hey, come out in the hall a minute. I want to talk to you guys.
Bert and Ernie follow him out of the room, leaving the placid corpse bound to the table. Ernie, Bert, and Meat cluster together, panting, sweating, totally freaked out.
How do you kill those things?
You don't.
What do you mean?
Ernie jerks his head at Bert.
Ask him.
All eyes turn to Bert.
They were already dead.
Right.
They can't be killed again. You have to understand that they're not alive. They're animated. You can chop them up into pieces and pieces. And they keep coming after you.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus, shit.
Right. I know. The only thing you could do is burn them. You have to totally reduce them to ash to where there's nothing left to come after you with.
Well, how are we going to burn all those things?
There's hundreds of the fuckers.
That is the question.
The rain has turned the graveyard into a sea of mud. As we watch, something begins to rise up out of the black slime. Something unfolding like a big muddy flower up out of the mud. The rain pouring down begins to wash the mud from the thing, revealing white flesh underneath, until it gradually becomes apparent that it is Dee Dee. Up out of the mud, like the birth of Venus. Wow, nice. There she stands, the rain washing the mud from her body, totally nude except for a pair of muddy leg warmers. The color of her skin is changed from a healthy pink glow to a ghastly alabaster white, but her body still retains its voluptuousness. Her face, however, is hollowed and shriveled until it looks like the Phantom of the Opera. Wow. An exquisitely erotic, but at the same time ghastly image. Meanwhile, the rain has slowed to a drizzle. A transient, down on his luck, as most transients are, I suppose, comes hobbling down the opposite side of the street. He's 40 going on 70, matted yellowish gray hair, stubble chin, with a seamy face that life has carved its cares on. His clothing is shabby and skimpy, and he hugs himself as he hobbles along to whatever sad destination. Oh my God, this is really depressing me.
This is good stuff to know on page 90.
Yeah, I know. Suddenly, all right, you're judging now. Suddenly, across the street, a figure steps out into the light cast by the street light. It is Dee Dee, standing in the arched entrance to the graveyard in her muddy gray leg warmers. She is a startling sight. It takes the transient a moment to notice her out of the corner of his eye. When he sees her, his head snaps around and his pace slows. He does not altogether stop walking, which is probably a mistake on his part. He is torn between two courses of action. He's going to be torn a different way in a minute. Stopping dead where he is and staring at me, or continuing on his way, perhaps in a hurry. As a result, he sort of hesitantly moves along the sidewalk, staring hypnotized at Dee Dee on the other side of the pavement. Did somebody else write this part of the script? I'm just wondering. She starts crossing the street toward him, her movements those of a slinky lizard. Very sensuous, very predatory. The closer she gets, the clearer her face gets, and yeah, that's me. Hold on.
Don't worry, it's clearly Dan
And
O'Bannon.
as it gets clearer, it gets uglier. But it isn't until she's all the way across the street that he can see now how ghastly her face really is. And by then, she's thrown her arms around his neck and bit the back of his head off.
What a journey.
Meanwhile, at the police station, the dispatcher sits at her little console wearing her headphones, surrounded by other dispatchers. Phones ring and people talk at the same time. Got to give the dispatcher to anyone?
I'll take it. We have a code 5 from the fire department. 2 paramedic vehicles missing in the Kennington district. Available units near the 20,000 block of East Central. Please respond.
At the warehouse, Kasey and Chuck are huddled in a dark corner. Outside, corpses scream.
Do you think they'll rescue us?
Ah! They better, man. That's all I got to say.
Long pause.
Yeah, but you think they will?
Kasey looks at him.
Chuck, I never did like your face, but under the circumstances. Hold me tight.
Oh, that's sweet. Interior police car, night. Heading up the driveway toward the mortuary, 2 cops in the cruiser. Cop number 1. Speak.
Dispatch, this is Bravo 16. We're at the mortuary. We see 2 paramedic vehicles parked in the rear parking lot.
The prowl car pulls up to a halt and sits with the motor running. The 2 ambulances are highlighted ahead in the headlights.
The doors of the vehicle are hanging open. Stand by while we investigate. Over.
Crackling and squawking from the radio. The 2 cops step from the black and white. Cop number 2 draws his gun while number 1 gets the shotgun from the dashboard. The headlights and the spotlight of the prowl car pin both ambulances in a pool of light. Cautiously, the cops approach. Steady can, it says. Coming up on the second ambulance, they see a body on the ground.
Hold it. What's that?
They approach the body. Carefully, cop number 1 turns it over. It is one of the second group of paramedics. There is a big hole in the side of his head where his brains have been eaten.
Holy Christopher.
Carefully, they back away from the body. They are moving back to the police car to call it in. But before they get there, 6 corpses step out into the light, barring their way. The cops snap into firing position.
Freeze or I'll blow your fucking brains out.
Brains!
They come at the police, hands outstretched. The cops fire both at the same time. The shotgun goes off, blowing the head clean off a corpse, which just keeps coming. The corpses overwhelm the cops. They both go down screaming and rotting bodies, whatever. I don't care. Meanwhile, the open mic dangling in the cop car picks up the screams of the dying officers in the background. Oh, good. Very good, Jack. One of the corpses, which limps toward the cop car, it reaches in the open door, grabs the dangling mic, and speaks into it.
Send more cops.
That's it. Wait, that's the big one, right?
No, we already did that.
We did the big one already.
But
Yeah.
you know what, Mark? Feel free.
Also,
No,
10
we're
more
all good.
paramedics.
Follow your muse.
Yeah.
10
Embalming
more
room.
descriptions of streets.
The humans, you know who they are looking out through the peephole, watching the cops die.
This place is like a black hole. Everybody that comes in gets swallowed up.
So what are we gonna do? Just stand around here beating our meat till the corpses kick their way in? Man, there ain't no way they can stop those things. We gotta get out of here.
We got to get to the cars.
There's corpses all over the cars.
I know that.
What are you proposing?
How the fuck should I know? Somebody do some thinking, for fuck's sake.
Ernie looks around, looks up at the ceiling.
There's a crawl space above the ceiling.
They all look. In the ceiling, a hatch.
We could go up there and barricade ourselves in. The only way up is through the hatch. We could go in and board it out.
Fuck. I ain't barricading myself up in the roof. I'm for the cars.
Right. And we drive to the police station and get the cops.
And what the fuck are they gonna do, if I might ask?
What we need is a way to fight them.
Ernie picks up a glass bottle off a shelf.
Maybe we could use this against them.
What is it?
Nitric acid. It will dissolve anything.
Bert looks at the small bottle of liquid.
Not that amount.
Meanwhile, in the chapel, Tina is still trying to comfort Freddie, but Freddie is now beyond comforting. He is just a rigid fetus. Ew. His teeth barred in horrid rictus. Out of both his and Frank's mouths come an agonizing growling that is unnerving to hear. Frank begins to foam at the mouth and roll around on the floor like a dog with something. Tina watches this with horror. Freddie turns around slowly and looks at her. Hydrophobia was the word, by the way.
It hurts more than anything you can imagine. And all of a sudden I can see the one thing, and only one thing can relieve this horrible suffering.
What, Freddie? What?
Live brains.
Tina screams and knocks Freddie away. Now all 3 of them start screaming. Tina runs to the chapel doors and tries to open them, but they're locked. Freddie comes after her. He scarcely looks like Freddy anymore, snarling, wild-eyed. They do a little dance around the pews. Deadly hide and seek, screaming the whole time. The key begins to rattle on the other side of the lock. Freddy gets an opening, reaches out swiftly and grabs Tina by the hair, pulls her toward him, mouth open to bite. Tina pushes over a pew, knocking him down. She runs to another part of the room. He grabs her blouse. Rip. That didn't happen in the movie. The door bursts open. In rush Ernie, Bert, and Meat with their weapons, Ernie carrying the nitric acid. That was a drunken one. Tina dashes to the door. Freddy attacks. They beat him back with their weapons. A horrendous fight. While they're fighting, Frank, unnoticed, slips out of the chapel. Frank rushes down the hall into Ernie's office, where he slams the door and bolts it. At the chapel, they're still battling Freddy.
Blind him.
Ernie flings the beaker of acid into Freddy's eyes. Freddy staggers back, grabbing his eyes. Smoke rises from his face. Oh, nice, Jonah. He blunders into a pew, blind. Ernie, Bert, and Meat rush out, slamming the door. Ernie quickly relocks the chapel doors. Tina is slouched on the floor, weeping hysterically.
Let's get back to the embalming room.
The others are too shaken to move.
Come on, everybody in the other room. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
They pick up Tina and hustle back to the embalming room. There, Bert, Meat, Tina, and Ernie hurry back into the room. Tina's hysterical.
That was horrible. Horrible. That was Freddy.
Don't you worry about Freddy and Frank. They've gone to heaven. Those things are just there. They've gone with God, Jesus, and Mary up there. They're hanging out, having a good time. The Pope says they could all get married if they want. They could do it all 3 times.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
so
good.
Nice.
It's a good. It's a good Pope.
Oh, he's a good Pope.
It's a good Pope. And those things are just their dead bodies. They just want to eat our brains.
Right.
In Ernie's office, Frank looks hideous. His skin is gray-green. His eyes are bloodshot with purple bruises around them, and he's sweating and shaking. He's in agony. Death withdrawal. Close, rat hole. A big brown rat pokes its head out. It twitches its whiskers. Frank and the rat looking at each other. Quick as a striking snake, Frank grabs the rat and bites its head off. How about that? Embalming room. Bert, Meat, and Ernie are putting Tina back together. On the table, the half corpse is writhing under its bounds.
Oh, God. Brains, brains. Give me brains.
Meat takes a stick and pokes the moaning corpse.
Hey, what's the matter with you, man?
The pain is coming back.
The half corpse is writhing and moaning.
Can't you make it shut up?
There is a tremendous crash from the direction of the chapel. Bert, Meat, and Ernie exchange a look and run out, brandishing their weapons. Outside the chapel, Bert, Meat, and Ernie rush out. The chapel doors are rattling.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He's trying to get out.
Suddenly, smash, splinters fly out of the door and a section of the wood protrudes out.
Oh, shit.
Ernie.
You're doing the most.
You know what's funny?
talking,
I'm
man.
thinking Bernie because Bernie writes and did some production design work.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Right? Am I right, Bill? Right? Anyway.
The production design job was between me and Bernie.
Yeah. So
it's a good excuse. It's a good excuse, but it's still an excuse.
It's still an excuse. It is.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
Ernie begins to pound nails into the door. Bert and Meat grab a piece of furniture and carry it to shove against the door. In so doing, they drop the piece of furniture on Ernie's foot. Ernie lets out a groan and falls. Bert and Meat pick him up and rush back to the embalming room, where Tina is sitting in the corner sobbing. Bert and Meat rush in with Ernie. Fuck it. They close the door to the hall and bolt it.
Can't stay here no more. He's coming through that door in a minute.
You have to run for the cars.
How do we get past the zombies that are outside?
We'll just have to storm them, fight our way through. Once we're in the car moving, we'll be okay.
That's a fuck of a big if.
You got a better idea?
No.
All right.
I'll do it.
Christ, I can't help you. I can't do no running.
How bad's your foot?
Broke, I guess.
In Ernie's office, Frank looks better. The rat brain helped. Not much, but a little. Frank goes to the window and slides the shutter up. The rain beats against the glass. He tries to open the window. It won't budge. He throws his weight against it. Crash! The window of Ernie's office explodes out, and Frank comes tumbling out, surrounded by shards of glass. He hits the ground, thud. He picks himself up and starts to run across the graveyard. Frank, driven, stumbles through the rain and blackness. A corpse, feebler than he, tries to jump him. He knocks it down and keeps running. Embalming room. Bert, Meat, Ernie, Tina. Bert and Meat are preparing themselves with a sledge and claw hammers.
You'll have to stay here with Tina while, what's your name?
Meat!
While Meat and I go get the cars. We'll drive right up to the door. Any more of that nitric acid?
That was it.
Ah,
Speaking of feet, man, how's your leg?
just don't worry about me.
Which car do we take?
Take mine. Here are the keys.
I'll drive. I'm good.
No, I'll drive.
Bert and Meat look at Tina and Ernie. Moment of truth.
Okay, be ready to move when we pull up to the door. We don't want to be out there with the motor running any longer than is necessary.
Grim nods from Tina and Ernie. They get the message.
What if you guys don't make it?
That'll be a great shame.
Bert and Meat take the sledge and claw hammer. They position themselves by the back door. Everyone grows very tense. Back of the mortuary, the doors burst open and Meat and Bert charge out, brandishing their weapons. Bert is limping. The door is just as quickly slammed shut again behind them. They run toward the vehicle, seeing Ernie's car. Numerous corpses are lurking around it. Meat and Bert charge right into their midst, swinging hammers, knocking the corpses aside like bowling pins. They dive into the open doors of the car, slam the door shut behind them and lock them. It's almost a miracle. They are unscratched. Interior, car. Bert instantly shoves the keys into the ignition and revs the car up. Corpses are beginning to shake the door handles of the car. Bert squeals away, running over one corpse. Crunch. He pulls the car in a circle around the back door to the mortuary. He tries to drive right up against the door so Tina and Ernie inside can come out and jump in. But there are corpses running around near the door. Bert stops the car immediately. Hold on 1 second. There, I'm better now. Immediately, corpses cluster around the car, staring in at them. The corpses start to rock the car. In a moment, they're going to tip it over.
Fuck.
Bert floors the accelerator, zooming away. Corpses run after them. Interior embalming room. Tina and Ernie can't believe it.
They left us! Those fucks! They left us!
What the hell do you expect them to do? The corpses would have got them. They couldn't stop.
Those fucks!
In the car, shooting down the driveway on their way out of the graveyard.
Can't just leave them.
We can't do anything else. They would have just turned the goddamn car over. We'll send help.
Mister, those are my friends back there.
We'll send help.
As they rocket down the driveway, a number of corpses run to their headlights. They have to run over them.
Oh,
Bang!
Help!
Bump.
Help!
Oh, help!
Oh,
I said it twice.
God damn it.
Then they're out of the graveyard and heading down the street. Back at the embalming room, Tina and Ernie are huddled together in the middle of the room, listening to assorted wailing and pounding coming from various walls. The half corpse writhes on the table. From the chapel comes the sound of smashing.
They won't just leave us. I can't believe it. They'll send help.
Yes. No. Yeah, sure. Eventually, yeah.
They look at each other. Ernie has no answers. There is a moist fear in his eyes. Not a regular fear, moist fear. Meanwhile, in the car,
where the fuck do we get help?
We have to find a phone and call the cops. There's a phone in my warehouse.
Bert twists the wheel and they squeal around the corner, their headlights sweeping desolate industrial district. Suddenly, a corpse leaps onto the hood of the car, crash, and clings there, staring in the windshield at them. They react as one would. The corpse starts beating on the windshield, trying to break it. Bert swerves the car, trying to hurl the corpse off. I'm doing that one. The corpse clings and breaks the windshield with its fist. The corpse slips to one side and is hanging partway off one fender. When Bert sees that, he cuts the wheel and drives right up onto the sidewalk, bringing the side of the car into contact with the cemetery wall. The corpse is scraped off. Ew. Bert cuts the wheel and they go back to the pavement.
Christ almighty.
The medical supply warehouse looms in the headlights.
There.
Bert guns the car straight for the door. Several corpses stand around outside the door.
Get ready.
Bert floors it, running over the corpses and smashing them right into the wall, crushing the front of the car in the process. Mert and beat. That's what I almost said. Wow. Meat and Bert leap out of the car. It was a lot easier when it was Bert and Ernie, because I just go to Sesame Street. Meat and Bert leap out of the car, which explodes, and run up to the warehouse back door. Bert fishes out his keys and opens the door hurriedly. As they rush into the semi-darkness, two figures jump them. There is struggling and cursing.
Hold it, we're human.
The fighting abruptly ceases. A light is turned on. Chuck and Kasey stand there, panting and bruised. They stare at each other in amazement.
Oh, thank God. We thought you were more of them.
Where's everybody else?
Listen, we're screwed. That was the car, and it blew up.
Not to worry, I've still got my car. My car's parked over there.
There is a second explosion and a flash of light. They run and looked out the bar window.
Not anymore, buddy.
So sad.
Close.
Mortuary. Crash. Freddy smashes a hole in the chapel doors. Snarling, wild-eyed, Freddy shoves his body through the shattered door panels, ignoring the damage it does to his body. His eyes are glazed over, blind. He feels his way down the hall to the embalming room and tries the door. It is locked. In the embalming room, Tina and Ernie both jump as Freddy smashes against the door. Desperate, Ernie looks up at the crawl space hatch in the ceiling. Crash, the door to the hall starts to split. Ernie limps over to the stepladder. Tina helps him move it under the hatch. He hustles her up the ladder to the hatch in the ceiling. She goes up into it and he follows her up the ladder, crawling painfully because of his broken foot. Tina pulls him up. Once they are up inside the attic crawlway, Ernie reaches back down and pushes the step ladder over so that it falls away from the hatch. Just as the ladder hits the floor, bang! The hall door bursts open and Freddy rushes in, crashing blindly into the furniture.
Tina, where are you? Where's your brains?
Tina and Ernie huddle in the dark rafters, listening to Freddy below. Quickly, Ernie props up a short piece of 2x4 against the hatch, blocking it shut. Ernie listens. They hear the sound of a helicopter. Outside, the beam of a searchlight cuts through the rain and walks eerily around the cemetery, while from the wet blackness above comes the beating of helicopter blades. In the distance, many sirens. 6 squad cars are converging on the mortuary, their flashes and sirens going. Up ahead, they see a cop barring the way. The cop is flagging them down with a red flashlight. This isn't going to go well. The 6 squad cars converge on the officer in the driveway. He is one of the dead officers. How about that? The doors of the squad car pop open and 12 cops jump out.
This way.
All of you. I love it. The corpse cop turns and runs into the darkness. Several of the live cops follow him into the shadows. A moment later comes a multiple scream. Anyone? Oh, that's good. The cops who remained by their cars pull their guns. Before they can do anything else, 20 corpses run out of the darkness and grab them. Meanwhile, cemetery wall, Frank scrambles up to the top of the stone wall. It's a great effort. He's barely able to pull himself up to the top of the wall. He rolls over it and falls 9 feet to the sidewalk. Thud. Quivering, he picks himself up and starts limping across the street. Across the street is a phone booth. Frank limps up to the phone booth and grabs the telephone. He digs into his pocket, turning it inside out, and spilling change all over the street. He finds a dime. With shaking hands, he inserts it into the phone. Ding. He dials 0.
9.
That would be get me a taxi in this script. I'm going to do it from now on.
The scene was not in the movie.
No, I know.
No.
The scene that's in the movie is actually a lot better. Meanwhile, circling
No
over
Rocky
the
Ericson.
graveyard, seeing what the searchlight, the night sun says, sees it. I can't even understand what this is. It's not me. It's like it's a weird sentence. Raindrops on copter bubble, illuminated red by the chopper's lights. Stereophonic beating of helicopter rotors.
Brown, this is Air 3.
Anyone?
Go right ahead, sir.
We've got a really bad situation here. We've got officers down. We have just witnessed 6 ground units attacked. Repeat, attacked and overwhelmed by a band of assailants.
The spotlight moves across the gravestones and crypts, illuminating wandering, fighting corpses. At the warehouse, Bert, Meat, Kasey, and Chuck hear the sound of the helicopter approaching.
Listen, hear that?
Helicopter. Yep.
The helicopter gets louder. Suddenly, a voice pierces out of the sky. A voice on the helicopter loudspeaker coming right through the walls.
Listen.
Attention! Attention! This is the police. This area is under police blockade. All persons within this area are under arrest. All persons wishing to surrender should make their way to the perimeter at once.
The helicopter moves on.
Lordy Jesus. Whew.
Sounds like the shit is really hitting the fan out there.
You got to get through to the police, let them know we're in here.
Bert limped toward his office.
Mister,
don't go in there.
They grab him. He sees the door boarded shut.
There's a thing in there. It ripped out the phone.
A tense moment.
There's another phone in the basement.
The basement. Fuck. Do you know what's in the basement?
What do you mean?
One of the fucking corpses, man. A real ugly one. All black and runny.
I don't care what's in the basement. We got to get to that telephone. Blinding them seems to work well.
Bert gets an idea. He walks over to near his office and comes back with a baseball bat.
Open the door and let that thing out. I'll knock his goddamn block off.
Somebody take over. My laptop's about to.
Jill, you got to do it. This is your moment.
Every time.
Hope you're paying attention.
I'm not.
Oh my.
I'm good. I can take over.
It's a bottom of 110.
Interior, attic of mortuary. Tina and Ernie crouch in the dusty darkness of the crawl space, and suddenly muffled comes the sound of a voice.
Tina, this is Freddy. Where are you?
Tina gasps.
Tina, it was wrong for you to lock me up. I had to hurt myself to get out. But I forgive you, Tina, and I know you're here because I can smell your brains.
Tina moans just like that and buries her face in Ernie's shoulder.
I'm coming up, Tina.
A pause, just kidding. A scraping noise. Then the hatch rattles as Freddy tries to open it. Tina and Ernie freeze, staring at the hatch.
Tina, listen to me. We always meant so much to each other, so please, open the hatch. It's wrong that you should keep me locked out like this.
Crash! The blocked hatch shakes as something smashes against it from below.
I got it, Billy.
Got it.
The block hatch shakes as something smashes.
No, you don't. You do not.
Tina and Ernie scuttle away from the hatch like crabs.
Tina and Ernie scuttle away from the hatch like crabs.
See
Tina
now.
and Ernie scuttle away from the hatch like.
Tina and Ernie scuttle away from the hatch like crabs. See now.
Tina and Ernie scuttle away from the hatch like crabs.
Away from the hatch like crabs.
Everybody drink.
Tina and Ernie scuttle away from the hatch like crabs.
What do they scuttle away the hatch like?
Crabs.
Oh, they have crabs, and then they scuttle away.
Then they scuttle away. See?
Only 13 pages, guys. Here we go.
God.
Here we go.
Crabs.
Home stretch, folks.
In fact, you made me break my hand completely off this time. But I don't care, darling, because I love you, and you've got to let me eat your brains.
Again, Freddy hurls himself against the hatch. Interior warehouse. Meat has the claw hammer and is pulling the nails out of the door one by one. Creak. Bert is poised before the basement door with his ball bat. Kasey and Chuck have armed themselves with various types of blunt instruments and long poles. Finally, the last nail is out of the door. Meat leaps back. Nothing happens. The humans look at each other tensely. Sweating, Meat advances forward, takes hold of the doorknob and yanks it open. And there stands the Tar Man.
Oh, no.
It charges straight out. Bert swings his bat. Smacko. It says smacko.
Does say
And
smacko.
it flies off. The body blunders about. Chuck, Kasey, and Meat charge the body, knocking it over. And then they all scurry into the basement.
Come on, hurry.
Bert hurriedly locks the basement door with his key. Down the stairs, minding that third step, come Bert, Kasey, Chuck, and Meat, looking around nervously into the shadows. Past the body of suicide, again, we see the half-dozen metal tanks, one of them standing open, the rest still sealed. Cautiously but quickly, they make their way through the basement, following Bert, who was going toward the telephone on the wall. Bert hurries up to the telephone and picks it up. He dials 0.
Hello? Get me the police. This is an emergency. Yes, is this the police? Oh, thank God. I'm calling from the Unita Medical Supply Warehouse on East Central. We're inside the blockade. We need your help.
Frank?
They got me on hold.
Meanwhile, police blockade, a city street in the warehouse district. Police saw horses and ropes stretched down the block and around the corner. Half a dozen cop cars curved out of sight into the rain, implying many more. Cops, the amount of them that they could afford in the production. Cops stride around in yellow raincoats, talking into hand radios. More cops guard the sawhorses with shotguns in their hands. Helicopter sounds can be heard in the black, wet sky. A man's hand picks up a blinking phone from the console in the police vehicle. The hand belongs to a tax squad captain, a grim-faced man in his 50s.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, I hear you.
Look, you got to help us. There's a bunch of us trapped inside your police barricades, and we can't get out.
First of all, mister, tell me what's going on in there. Some crazy people's killing my officers in there at one hellacious rate is all I know.
Well, it's rabies. If you don't get bit, you're okay.
Rabies, huh? I saw Old Yeller once. Yeah, Mike, I gotta go. Get the medical examiner's office down here in one hell of a hurry, I bet you reckon. Okay, just sit down. We're going to send somebody in to get you out. First of all, you got to tell me exactly where you is in there.
Okay, we're at the Oneida Medical Supply Warehouse at 217006 East Central. Do you know where that is?
The tax squad captain has his free finger stuck in his free ear, trying to shut out distracting noises.
Hold on a second, just wait a minute, don't you? I can't hear you. There's a bunch of noise there.
There is shouting in the background. The tax squad captain turns to see what it is.
Hey, what's going on?
A shotgun-toting cop manning the line yells to him.
Somebody's coming!
Out of the darkness trot a bunch of corpses. One of them is Dee Dee. Hi, Dee Dee.
Oh, all right. Oh, hold it right there.
The corpses do not hold it. They head right for him.
Watch it, Steve. It's rabies.
I said halt.
He fires. Boom! The corpses are on him before he knows it. One of them pulls off his riot helmet. Another starts choking him. The next cop runs up and grabs the corpse around the neck, trying to use a chokehold on it. The head comes off in his arms, leaving the body still choking riot cop number 2. Pandemonium. The tax squad captain is staring aghast, phone in hand, not knowing what to do. He draws his gun. Suddenly, a corpse lunges into frame and grabs the tax squad captain. Meanwhile, in the basement, Bert stands with the phone to his ear, listening to the horrible screams of the dying policeman.
Hello? Hello?
What?
Meat?
Where are we?
Did Meat fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
How can you tell?
Yeah, that's the character.
Page 113.
Oh, well, okay. Here, hold on. What is it?
Very nice. He holds the phone out so Kasey, Chuck, and Meat can hear the tinny shrieks coming from the earpiece. Their faces show their feelings clearly. Bert sags against the wall, letting the phone drop to his side.
Cops. They got the cops. That means they're breaking out of the police barricade.
In desperation. Drink on that one, Mr. Ray. In desperation, Bert's eyes light on the nearest tank. Stenciled on the side is, as we recall, in case of emergency, call 1-800-454-8000. Bert slams the phone down. He lifts the receiver again and starts redialing, reading it off the tank.
Doing.
Bert finishes dialing the lengthy number, and he stands waiting very tensely with the phone to his ear. It rings once.
Ring.
It is picked up.
Hello?
Yes, I'm calling the number stenciled on the side of the tank.
Stay on the line.
The phone burrs in Bert's ear again. Interior, a room, night. The decor can only be described as vintage missile silo. Concrete walls, banks of equipment painted battleship gray, cheap red plastic chairs. The clock on the wall reads 3:43 a.m. An army officer sits with his feet up on the console, smoking a cigarette, drinking a cup of coffee, and reading Volume 4 of Remembrance of Things Past. Interesting choice. On the console, a red light flashes on and a buzzer sounds. He snaps awake as if from a long wait. Years. He stares at the red light. Can't believe it. Then he sits upright and grabs the phone, tight on the gold braid on his sleeve.
Captain Turner speaking. Put him through. Go ahead, sir. Yes, you've called the right number. Your name, please.
He punches the button in front of him, transferring the call. Back in Denver, Colorado, a microwave transmitter framed against a moonlit sky in the Rockies.
Please stay on the line, Mr. Penrod. You're being transferred.
This is Con Crew. Denver, go ahead.
Denver, this is Wichita. I've got a CLY priority on 113. Who's up?
That would be Colonel Grover, San Diego. I'll put you through.
Do it.
Interior, Colonel's bedroom night. Through the bedroom window is a spectacular view of the cliff and the sea again, which we couldn't afford. The surf pounding below. The weather here is clear and beautiful. Camera pulls back to reveal the Colonel sound asleep with his wife. Their bedside clock says 1:45 a.m. The special phone next to the bed beep beeps. The Colonel sits up, wide awake. He stares at the beeping phone. His wife is slowly coming awake.
Horace, what is it?
The Colonel grabs the phone and sticks it to his ear.
Yes. Yes, Captain. I see. Very well. Put that call through to me. Yes, put him on.
The Colonel turns on the bedside light and punches buttons on the phone console, lighting up the board, grabs for a pencil.
Yes, Miss Penrod. Where are you speaking from? Uh-huh. Yes, I see. When did this take place? Uh-huh. When was the tank first breached? Why didn't you call us number immediately? I see. That's understandable. What happened next? Uh-huh. I see. And did you try to stop them? Were you able to stop them? I see. Nothing short of total destruction, reduction as to ash. I see. Okay. Yeah, I see. Of course. Thank you for your assistance, Mr. Penrod. I'm going to switch you back. That's Captain Turner now, and he'll talk to you.
Shaken, the Colonel punches them over to another line on his phone set and swings his legs out of the bed. Our Colonel is tense.
Here. Is it?
He pulls on his robe and goes into the other room. In the study, the Colonel goes to the communications equipment and punches a single red button, picking up the phone and putting it to his ear. He waits, glancing at the clock and at some teletype copy coming out of a slot. Someone picks up at the other end.
Sir, this is Colonel Grover. Sorry to disturb you, sir, but we're at Q2 status. It looks like we found that lost consignment of Easter eggs. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. They've turned up in Louisville. I'm getting confirmations on that from the Louisville Police Department. Louisville, Kentucky, sir. Yeah. Well, it should be good news, sir, except that the eggs have hatched. Yes, sir. I'm afraid so, sir. It looks like our worst case scenario.
In the basement, Bert is still on the phone. Meet Chuck and Kasey listen with exhausted intensity.
Listen, what's happening on the other end of that line?
Just a second. These people seem to say that they've been waiting for this to happen. Apparently, they've got a contingency plan to deal with it. So,
A palpable wave of relief runs through the room.
Great.
What is this plan?
I'm not sure.
Interior railway car, dawn. Telephone beeping. A hand picks up the phone. The hand belongs to a 22-year-old U.S. Army gunnery sergeant. Behind him, through the window of the railway car, we can see that the dawn is breaking through some trees.
Hello. Good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning to you too, sir. What's that you say, sir? Red alert, sir. Not a test. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Whatever you say, sir. You just give me the code numbers. Archimedes, hot dog, rhubarb, Niner, Golden Girls, Friends, Frasier. Gotcha, sir.
The sergeant looks it up in the day's code books. We now see the vehicle the sergeant is sitting in. It is a little cab on the end of a long, flat railway car sitting on a quiet spur out in the middle of nowhere in a forest of low scrub pines. On the bed of the flat car is a huge cannon, a 150 millimeter howitzer.
Bearing mark 220.
Bearing 220.
Close. Sergeant's hands dialing the numbers into the howitzer's mini computer. Angle, cannon. It swivels around, rotating from one compass point to another on giant purring gimbals.
Range 34 miles.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Range 34 miles.
The long muzzle slowly drops until it has reached the desired arc on the horizon. A computer screen, the word locked flashes with a beep. A huge artillery shell bearing a red and yellow radiation symbol rolls into the breech and is chambered. Clink, clank, clunk.
All right here, sir.
Fire.
Whomp! The huge cannon kicks and belches flame, rocking the railroad car back onto its springs. Exterior, city skyline, dawn, no rain. Long shot of the city seen from a distance. The whistling sound of a 150 millimeter artillery shell. Exterior, cemetery, dawn. Corpses, including Dee Dee, raise their dead eyes toward the dawn light, instinctively turning toward the whistling of the shell. Exterior, street adjoining cemetery. Frank stands next to the payphone. So much better in the movie. Shading his eyes and looking to the sky. Behind him, a taxi cruises up to the wet street. Interior, mortuary, attic crawlway, dawn, no rain. A little light seeps in from outside, revealing Tina and Ernie backed up as far as they can get. Bang! The hatch is knocked open and Freddie sticks his scarred head up through the... Oh, all right, I'll take a drink.
You might as well.
Scarred, I know, we're at the end. Scarred head up through the crawl space.
Tina!
Girl, what?
Bert, meet Kasey and Chuck crouch by the phone.
Listen, do you hear something?
Exterior city skyline, dawn. A nuclear explosion lights the dawn sky, throwing its glare over the whole city. The
Frank, why did you say the kaboom? Frank!
We gotta save some time.
Marcus had
it was going to take me like 2 minutes to do that.
We gotta
I feel like
wrap
everyone
this up.
earned it though.
Somebody else, give us a kaboom.
Jill, give us a kaboom.
Oh no.
Oh heavens, no! I mean, those are the limits of my acting abilities. I cannot simply.
Here's the thing: I'll do Dave Schilling doing a kaboom.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Take a seat.
Okay, this is called acting.
Kaboom.
Listen, guys.
It has to end like a question, Jonah Ray.
Kaboom.
All right.
Send more paramedics.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. My character was on drugs the whole time.
5:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The
Is that what it is right now?
Feels later.
Yes.
It does feel later.
Fireball climbs toward the sky.
That's not from the
like a
script.
hideous flower. Narrators.
All right, bring us home, Frank.
All right. The image we're seeing is the fireball cast by a 1/2 kilotron tactical nuclear artillery shell fired from a distance of 34 miles. More than 20 square blocks of industrial Louisville were destroyed in this explosion, which was officially described as a chemical refinery explosion. Over 4,000 persons died from the immediate effects of the blast. Top quality stock footage of a refinery fire or similar disaster. Oh, good Lord. Seen as a column of flame and smoke as wide as a football field, rising over a mile into the air above the industrial district. Narrator again. Studies by the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, as well as the Jefferson County Health Inspector, have shown a 300% increase in the incidence of leukemia and infant mortality.
Drink!
Among residents.
Are we
of the
drinking
area.
on infant mortality?
No, I heard a stumble.
These and
Or
other-
your drinking word is infant mortality. That was chosen by our patrons. Infant
You know what?
mortality.
You know what? Screw this. So they set off a nuke and it goes off and then it starts to rain. And so we know it's going to start all over again.
Good all
So
again.
I say to you all, the end. Thank you.
Oh my God!
So soon?
Good
The end?
Wow.
Is there a sequel to this or anything?
We are reading Return of the Living Dead 2 after a 15-minute break. For those we're going right into it.
Meets Revenge.
Wow, that one was one for the books, guys. That one was
Yeah.
the Jurassic Park link.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it was
no. That one was
definitely like
that
a
shouldn't
book.
be put in any book.
Yeah. Someone get Hitler in here to burn that book.
Oh my goodness.
Well, okay, so in case you've forgotten, since it's been 2.5 hours since I last mentioned it, our charity for tonight is the California Wildfire Relief Fund. I wish someone had put out our wildfire a few minutes ago, but they didn't. So you can go to our website at scriptsgonewild.com. Click on the donate button. It's going to take you directly to their website. You can make any donation that you would like. Please do. They do amazing work. That's why we just subjected ourselves and you to what you just sat through. It's for the California Wildfire Relief Fund. So blame them, actually. Blame them.
Again, you're anti-firefighter.
The donate button is up in the right.
Yeah, it's up in the
upper hand
navigation
corner.
bar. You'll see a donate button, and you can just click on that. It'll take you right to their website.
What if we just sweep the forest? Wouldn't that solve this whole problem?
I know.
Yeah,
I
can
know.
we get like a
No,
very
no, not
large?
sweep. No, not sweep. Rake. We got to
We're gonna-
rake the
Raking-
forest.
We're gonna
It's
comb the
You gotta
desert
rake
like
them.
in Spaceballs.
No.
All this.
Man, we ain't
like
found
the-
shit.
all this
Yeah,
really
Jonah
does
knows.
is by
Jonah's
rate
seen
for people.
Spaceballs. There you go.
So a couple of quick plugs for some reads we have coming up. Next Wednesday, the 28th, we are reading Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. We've got Ted Raimi, Lou Temple, Danielle Harris, Tiffany Shepard, Serena Vincent, a whole group of awesome people for that. We're raising money for Everytown for gun safety. On December 16th, we are doing a reading of an unproduced direct sequel to Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 called Unhinged. We've got Eric Freeman, who played Caldwell in that film, who is reprising his role for the first time in 33 years. And he actually wrote the script. So it's going to be a really cool night. And then Frank will be back hosting again on December, am I right? December 30th, Frank? Poseidon Adventure?
Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah. Hey, spend your last couple days of your New Year's getting drunk as we watch or we read Ernest Borgnine lines. Why not?
We're going to do it actually upside down too. So it's going to be really
even better. Yeah. So that's all I have, Frank. It's all yours now.
Oh, it's all mine.
It's
Sorry.
all yours, buddy. Take us home.
That's what that sound means.
I just want to say thank you to all of our wonderful actor readers this evening. You were all fantastic. I'm so pleased. I don't think it could have gone any better
Actually,
I
That's
agree
the
with
funniest
that.
thing
I thought I was very good, and
I know.
I look
Brag,
forward to all the
brag,
comments
brag.
about how good I was.
I was also really happy to reunite Izzy and Kasey, who
Yay!
Kasey was in a short film that Izzy directed called Postpartum, which was really excellent. I love
And
it.
there's a new one she's in called Rehome.
Oh, well, there you go. Excellent.
Yeah.
So thank you all you guys, and thank everybody who watched tonight, who managed to stay through it the whole thing. That's very impressive.
And very quickly, guys, I'm going to take a screenshot of everybody. So on the count of three, look like you've been doing a read for 3 hours. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Frank. I'm not drunk. I'm merely warm. Is that a? Did I fail? That was an epic fail, right?
No, it was all good. All good.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to end
Bye.
the live stream now so everybody can go get some sleep. You're all amazing. Thank you so much. Donate to